Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 3 of the West African Pro League, the Junior League. This is day 3, like I said earlier, and it is your boy Priest, and I am joined by none other than Fire, the main man himself. Fire, how have you been feeling these past couple of days?
Man, I've been feeling super excited. The lobbies have, lived up to expectation. Yesterday was a bit balanced, and today, now that things have mixed up a little bit, I'm very curious to see how that is going to affect the entire game. But it's looking like it's going to be a really, really rough ride today.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about, this lobby is a brand new lobby, Group A and C. This is the first time they are going to be meeting each other. And yes, you heard me, ladies and gentlemen, Group A, Apex is back here again for you guys, and they are going to have a little bit of a drawback, because there's a whole lot of teams are ready to take that, that first place position away from them. Speaking of teams, Fire, who do you think is going to, stand in Apex's way today? Because, we said there's no Three Brothers, there's no Sidizens, there's no 21st Century. So who is going to take up the mantle?
I mean, the usual firepower that you see, stopping them in their tracks, as we saw in the first day, like 21 Century, Active Gaming, Three Brothers are not here. But you still have guys like Fowl Play, who put up a great performance yesterday. You still have guys like Cyclone Shields, who are doing quite well. Invictus has not been able to live up to, what we expect them to. But now coming back and having a second chance on the second day, you expect them to be able to perform well. A lot of these teams will be coming back and saying, hey, you know what, we can go. We're no pushovers. So I'm expecting to see one or two teams step it up and surprise us today.
Yes, sir. Surprise, like it's breakfast time, or it is or dinner time, or some gift giving time, because Team Apex is clear of these teams with a beautiful point difference right now, and they're looking very, very strong. They're looking like they want to run away with it. But 21st Century is hot on their tail, just maybe, 15 points away, just glamoring through. And Active Gaming still hot on their heel as well, Most Wanted, Dream Team, and 03 Brothers. Now, this is the cumulative leaderboard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So how does this make you feel? What do you think, is the plan here? How do you think these teams are going to, what do you think their strategy is going to be coming into today?
Yeah, I think the strategy for today is just keep on winning and getting the kills as well, because you can see that the teams who are on top are accumulating not just kill points, but they're getting those placement points too as well. So the plan is keep on getting those points, grab maybe one winner with a chicken dinner, but as well as getting the kills. So teams have to be extremely aggressive. They've got to be brave. They've got to make that push and just keep on trying as much as possible to get into that final circle. If you find yourself in the final circle, there's no way you're going to leave there with at least maybe 4 to 5 kills. 5 kills, minimum even 3. So the more you do that consistently, the more you keep finding yourself up on that leaderboard.
Yes, being up on that leaderboard is the plan for most of these teams. We are going to be looking out for, Team Apex for sure, and Fowl Play. We're also going to be looking out for Invictus, Cyclone, Shield, and Dream Team, the unsung heroes as well. Most of these teams are looking very, very strong so far, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to navigate, this particular zone. As you can see, it is already a northwestern, zone right there. It's keeping everyone to the west. So that those teams that do love to land in Mansion, Prison, Shelter, Milta Farm, all the way down to Milta Power and Lipovka, they're going to have a very, very tough time getting into this circle.
Yeah, I love the way this zone has shifted because it has taken all of the teams towards that northern side, as you can see. So there's a lot of teams who already have positions and places to call their home. We're going to see some action going down, maybe between the boys from Fowl Play and Habitual, who are already heading towards that region around Savannah. So we should keep an eye on that and see how that goes, as the teams are currently just trying to get their loot. You can see Simple already just trying to prepare for the fight that's about to ensue. There are 3 teams within this particular particular region. You got the boys from Tryout, you got Habitual, and the boys from Fowl Play. So that already is going to give us a huge spectacle early on right here. Right here, going on to all the way on the other side of Kameshki, you have the boys from Fugitives who are just looting around there, as well as UNK. GNS is sitting down somewhere around Mansion. The boys from Rage, Deji, and his boys are still holding that position in years 9, so they'll be looking to rotate in much later on. Team Apex, as we were talking about, is currently sitting down in a hospital, so they've got a good position. Not too far away from them is the boys from Dream Team at the Georgia Pool buildings right there. So Team Goth has this very large, weird little split where they have their 4 players in absolutely 4 different regions. All right, so we'll now turn our sights right here, Priest, onto the fight right here in Savannah.
Habitual Gaming already in serious trouble here. You know, Fowl Play did pull up to this position, but I do know for a fact that Savannah is home to the guys from Fowl Play, so they know how to defend this position very, very well. You can see Lone Wolf switching to the Car 98 there. I think that is going to be the first choice weapon, since he also has a bow and arrow there. Shad Sports, one of the players from Tryout Squad, sends some shots his way with the Honey Badger, but nothing connects just quick enough. Beautiful spray from Shad there, drops Lone Wolf immediately on top of that building. I think that is he drops him out of the first floor, and I believe Soul is also knocked. So the guys from Habitual are still in serious trouble. They are down to a 2-man team, but Shad is putting in the work.
Yeah, Shad definitely holding back in that particular one. His teammate Soul is obviously going to get lobbied, so they're down to just 2 players. But here's where the thing gets interesting. The focus of Fowl Play right now is on taking out the boys right there from Habitual. Now, if they get into the crosshairs of Tryout Squad, as you can see, player 1 is right there on that building, looking to turn things around. So this is one of those fights that we have seen here, right, where you have the boys right there from Fowl Play making that push, and all of a sudden things just turn around for, you know, the entire squad. So is this going to be Tryouts? Let's see.
Yeah, it is. It is actually a matter of, you know, perception and the technicalities involved in taking these kinds of engagements. It's very interesting though, because the guys from Tryout Squad, they've not necessarily had the best of games so far, so they need to be very, very direct. They need to be very, very careful in how this engagement is going to play out. I'm looking forward to seeing how, you know, they are going to navigate from this western position and eliminate the guys from Fowl Play. Fowl Play still having their sights set on the guys from Habitual Gaming, and they need to wrap this up very quickly, Fire. They need to get this done quickly before the guys from Tryout Squad will realize what is going on and descend on them.
That nade coming in from a solo, not making the right impact right there in that particular position. So that obviously will be affecting, you know, them as they look to make that push. But for me, player 1 moving away from that position, I did feel like he had a very good sight onto the boys from Fowl Play up on that building. Switching away from there, I think it does take away an advantage for them. They're looking like a team that wants to attack, and that's great, but sometimes you just have to wait for your opportunity.
Yeah, you know, but then if you're playing the waiting game, how patient can you actually be, you know, because this is culminating into a third party. It's looking like there's a possibility of a third party here, but then you guys can see the guys from Tryout Squad, they are making an advance, they are moving inside of that position to be spotted by Lone Wolf. Shots continue to ring outside. Player 3 is going to get dropped, and player 4 is going to follow immediately, but the return fire is absolutely brilliant from the guys from Tryout Squad. Now the guys from Habitual have spotted them. Now this might be the opportunity for the guys from Habitual to take this game away. The last player for the guys from Tryout Squad is still prone in the corner there, still trying to cook up the element of surprise. Solo pulls up to the scene, tries again, a couple of shots with the Bison. Again, he sends a couple of shots. It doesn't connect, but ooh, that's a beautiful knock from Lone Wolf, and he might just do the trick. Tryout Squad did not, you know, they did not play this out very, very perfectly. I mean, Fire was expecting them, you know, to hold on just like you said, but they did decide to make the engagement, and unfortunately, they have been cut down to 1 player.
I think crossing the road onto the other side was probably not the best decision that they could make, because you can see Fowl Play was just waiting for the opportunity. They knew that they were there. They was waiting for the time when they would cross. So for me, the best option for them at that time was to wait on the other side, on the other side, for Fowl Play to make the move onto Habitual and take out one or two of their players before they then cross over to make their move. But they decided to do that. I guess they were a bit itchy in that particular situation, and that has affected them. You can see now they've lost 3 players in that particular fight, and they have to go back and rethink the strategy in situations like this.
Exactly, you know, and that is going to be that is going to smell the end of the guys from Tryout Squad. Once again, they are eliminated pretty early in a round. We saw this happen 2 nights ago, you know, and it looks like history is going to be repeating itself, you know. And I think you were very right, you know. But then if it was me, I would really just send one player in a trail of smoke and have him, you know, be covered there. Shad uses the car there to peek around from the left-hand side, spots a couple of shots towards PlayStation 5 upstairs. He might just be spotted. Jump shot is not going to work. He is going to be dropped down to his knees by Lone Wolf. Beautiful play. Psycho looking out there in the distance, might just spot Simple, sees him outside, but the beautiful use of the cover there by Simple, just shielding himself from the damage. Psycho is going to escape for dear life and might just decide to razzle his team some placement points.
I'm not sure if Psycho was really comfortable with using the Uzi in that particular fight, but I did expect to see more support coming in from him against his teammate right there, because Shad was putting in the work, but you can see there were too many angles taking on shots into him, and he eventually got taken down. But with support from Psycho, he might just have been able to pull that one off and kept the boys from Fowl Play at bay, just enough for Shad to get that extra knock. But it is what it is. They're down to 1 player, so we'll see how that one actually does progress, as we still got about 15 teams in this one.
Yeah, you still have to talk about, you know, understanding the area and understanding the position. You know, I did tell you that Severny does belong to Fowl Play. As long as I've known, they've always been very, very strong in that area, and this tells you why. They know every single nook and cranny of that position, of that area of the map. And I saw the guys from Disparaged pull up to the scene as well, but they got repelled almost immediately by the guys from Fowl Play, and they just finished an engagement with the guys from Tryout Squad and Habitual Gaming. But still, Disparaged pulled up to the scene, and still they got sent back immediately. You can see the guys from Fowl Play, like I said, they know this area like the back of their hand. Now Fugitive Esports are going to be their next victims if they're not careful. Bullets are going to go their way. Escobar is going to be dropped down immediately by Solo and sent back into the lobby. 5 eliminations. So the guys from Fowl Play fire. 5 eliminations already.
Speaking of 5 eliminations, what a time to be getting those amount of kills when you're in a lobby like this. If you're looking to climb up in a game where you have several different teams like Team Apex, that's exactly what you need to be doing. You need to be making that push. You need to be taking out the teams quite early on, and Fowl Play is doing just that. They've got a good position to themselves sitting down in Severny. They can continue to rotate into that zone and that region where the Fugitives are currently occupying. But now that they've taken out one of the players from Fugitives, they can continue to make their rotations in. So great stuff to the boys from Fowl Play, as they've gotten themselves a whole lot of kills so far and can continue to make their push into that zone. Did you see this coming in the beginning of the game, that Fowl Play will be this aggressive?
You know, yeah, you did mention them as one of the teams to watch, you know, to take down the likes of Team Apex, you know, and Fugitive Esports as well, you know. But then I am looking forward to seeing how the guys from 88 Genesis are going to get out of this one, because speaking of violence, it looks like something is cooking again. Fowl Play, again, the architect of this said violence. You can see them rotating around. The guys from Genesis, shots flying around from that position. Itachi is going to be the mastermind behind it, but then all of these guys are crammed into this shack. PlayStation 5 is leading the charge for the guys from Fowl Play to make their rotations, and Itachi might just be the one to chase them down. PlayStation 5 has definitely been spotted, and this is what we're talking about, you know, fire rotations. How quick can you make them? You know, Fowl Play are getting, you know, peppered right now, because I feel their rotations are not just the best right now.
Oh, so maybe holding a defensive position was quite easy for them, but when they had to make the rotations in, it totally affected them. And that's exactly what it is right here. Sometimes you're playing a very good game and you get lost up, and other teams have already picked great positions. Like you can see, the boys from UKN Esports took out a player right there from Fowl Play, but they lost one regardless. The boys from Fowl Play are sitting in now with a five-man squad. All they have to do right now is just find a way to get themselves into that zone. They're still somehow within that blue, and I think they should just move in.
Yes, I think they should move in as well, but it's still a matter of timing and how well they can, maintain, that position. You can see them, they're getting into engagement after engagement based off of their rotation style. They're getting into some really quick engagements, and it's costing them, players as the game continues to progress. But I am loving in another play from the guys from Dream Team here. You can see Rash is playing cover from behind. The guys from Dream Team is another strong team that I've been watching, so far. We do not necessarily talk about them a lot, but they have been actually fantastic in the first stages. They were among, I believe, the top 5 teams. So I'm looking forward to seeing, more action from them. They already have 2 eliminations, and I'm looking forward to seeing them get more eliminations in this game.
Yeah, definitely. As we're progressing right now into the 4th stage of the map, we're seeing so much action going down. Even the boys from Fugitives and GNS are beginning to get into a loose skirmish right there as Fugitives get a knock, and I do believe a wipe in that particular one. Several different teams are trying to make their rotations in. The zone continuously shifting towards that region around Zaki, towards that northwestern edge right there, and all of these teams are looking to continue to make their move. It is a very tough one for all of these guys. Team Apex is currently outside the zone. Starlight and his boys not too far away from NGE, and as you can see, it does look like something is about to happen. A little battle with Starlight just seen crazy and his boys within that building. You can see Blessing is beginning to make his move, inching closer and closer. They're beginning to prepare the fight as they usually do, just surround them per se. With Kohler and his boys going to have a difficult time rotating out of this building right here in Hospital. They may lose 1 or 2 players while trying to get out of that one.
Yeah, and I think that is the idea, to lose as little players as possible. If it's possible, do not lose any player in any engagement. You see Starlight already has 1 elimination for the guys from Team Apex, so they are a complete team, and this is when they are most dangerous. They know how to play. I talked about them on the first day. They know how to play terrains. They are not necessarily a compound team. They do not necessarily love to defend compound positions. They love to defend general terrain positions. If there's a compound in the area, they'll probably have like 1 player in there, just fending everyone off. But around that area, you are going to see the guys from Apex managing that position. And I believe the guys from Dream Team also play in a similar fashion. Archer is going to be the one that leads the charge, but Haas is also a very fantastic support player, but Archer is the man, the brains behind the operation, and I've been watching him for a while now, and he has been absolutely fantastic for the guys from Dream Team. He knows how to keep the rest of the team in check and keep them in line, and that is why they are on top of the table, at least in that top half of the table right now. And I'm looking forward, like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to seeing them maintain that energy. They have 2 eliminations. You can only go from here.
Dream Team is one of those OG teams that you usually don't speak about because, I do believe that they've been out for a while. They just take things easy sometimes, maybe take a break and come back, and people don't really talk about them so much. But they're a very consistent team. They keep on putting in, very consistent performances up on the leaderboard in any competition that you find them in. So obviously, we'll be curious to see how that one actually does work out for them as they have that synergy within the team. We're still seeing several different guys. As you take a look at that map, you got the ball from Fowl Play just still rotating around, looking for a spot to call their own. They're a 2-man squad so far, and it'll be curious to see how this one actually does play out as we're down to 12 teams, moving all the way into that 4th stage so far.
36 bodies and 12 teams fire. That's still a lot of bodies for this kind of circle. You can see Deji is driving around, just trying to find somewhere to park his buggy, just so the rest of his teammates can have a little bit of an area to play from in that western part of the circle. But it's very, 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 very interesting, you know, because the guys from Team Apex, they are inside of the circle as well, but they are still playing that positional game. They are holding angles. They're still holding angles. There's still players outside of the play zone. You know, Kuma is trying to keep the rest of these ops at bay, and Blessing is going to join him shortly. So they are going to have a split in this hill position. The guys from Dream Team still around lurking, and this might just be the first engagement, 4 versus 4. Between the guys from Dream Team and the guys from Team Apex. Ours pulls up to the scene as well, pops a couple of shots, he's spotted immediately, and that is Team Apex. They are so quick with the aggression, they are so ready, but Dream Team is ready for them this time around. I can see the bullets going back and forth. Kuma charging the grenade, might just connect to Haas right now. He knows that he's in that position. That's a beautiful grenade, and again he might just get peppered from behind. Beautiful spray from Haas there, and just enough to repel Kuma all the way back.
Man, lovely strategy coming in for the boys from Dream Team. Haas does need to switch his position because he is in a lot of danger in that particular spot. It does look like Dream Team is taking on fights from 2 separate angles, and this, we've talked about this so many times. You don't want to be doing that. You want to take one and stick to one, so it might be better for them to just focus their sights onto the boys from Rage. So you can see Deji goes down. They've taken out 2 players from that team, and the boys from Dream Team are continuing their onslaught, but they need to keep an eye onto the boys from Apex. I do believe just pull away from that Apex fight. Finish what you've got started with the boys from Apex, and just try as much as possible to keep your full team together. That should be the message to Dream Team. But look at Fugitives coming in from the side, be that Trojan horse, and taking down 2 of the players right there from Dream Team. If I do believe even 3 now, and taking down Dream Team to just 1 player left.
Fantastic from the guys from Fugitive Esports. You cannot be caught slipping. You do not want to get caught slipping at all. Fugitive Esports, they did have a fantastic position here, and all they had to do was defend it against the guys from Dream Team. They heard the shots, they saw the positions, and all they had to do was just wait them out, and they now started to send those bullets towards the guys from Dream Team. Apex just used that opportunity to slither away and find themselves into a better position, trying to rotate around. You know, New Generation Esports, also another team that is trying to get inside of the play zone. Beast is peeking inside. He might just spot Starlight, but Starlight is ready. The shot's already ringing outside from Starlight. Starlight absolutely fantastic when it comes to holding out positions. He's trying to keep the guys from New Generation at bay, trying to keep them in that northern position to restrict them from rotating. That is the play. That is how smart the guys from Team Apex are, and I love to watch, you know, their productivity. They're so proactive, they're so ready to keep the play zone on their side, and that is the game style. That is what I love to see, Fire.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can see all of these guys are getting ready to go, but did you see this gameplay right there, Priest, from Fugitives? I mean, the way they just came in from the side and we're just storming onto several different teams. I mean, I was expecting that, you know, Dream Team was going to boss that position that they were in, considering, I mean, like you said, they just lost 1 player in that one. They still managed to keep their team together, obviously courtesy to, you know, the great agile work, but I did not see Fugitives, you know, just coming in and being the one to just storm in that corner.
You know, it's all about, you know, getting ready for the worst case scenario. Team Apex finally and Dream Team, they've gone into this engagement. It's starting to happen this time around. Archer charging the grenade, might just send it towards Wizard and send him back into the lobby immediately. Beautiful play. And we talked about Dream Team, they're ready to take this engagement, and the guys from Fowl, that's a beautiful spray from Blessing, and that is the end of Dream Team. And we talked about this. Who is going to stop them? Who is going to keep the guys from Apex at bay? All of these teams are trying their hardest, but it looks like it might not just be working.
Oh, Team Apex still holding a full-man squad. It looks like the idea or the message from their team was, you know, try as much as possible to get yourself into that final circle. Then we can now begin to let loose. You can see for a bit they were a bit quiet, a bit cautious in making their move, but now they've gotten into the position. They've taken out one of the teams that will be looking to hold them back, Dream Team, and can now continue to push on right there into getting that winner chicken dinner. Currently sitting down, we still got about 7 teams right here in this one. Invictus and the boys are getting the onslaught from several different teams around them, and it's all down to little margins right now, as Fowl Play is still in this one with 7 kills. The Fugitive boys are still holding on to their life. They still got about 3 players to their team, but Cyclone, Shields and Team Apex with 4 men each are looking like the favorites to take this game home.
Cyclone Shield are super impressive. All they have to do is find a compound or find a defensive position to hold, and I can see them doing that very well. But then 4 eliminations still to the guys from Team Apex. And again, funny enough, they are actually, on the bottom side of the eliminations. Fowl Play still in the lead with 7, Fugitive Esports also with 7, and Cyclone Shield with 5 eliminations. Team Apex actually trailing behind this time. So I believe the rest of the teams are actually feeding off, Apex's nonchalance in getting into eliminations very early. Team Invictus are finally spotted by Danny Brown there. Shots are ringing outside. He's dropping them one after the other, and he might just play from their southern position, might just pinch them from behind. Beautiful spray from Manny. Drops yet another one. I believe that is Pintua that goes down for the guys from Invictus. And Invictus, they managed to get themselves into a top 4. Can they hold on?
Yeah, and Invictus, one of those teams that we're looking at to perform a lot better than they did on the first day. Coming in right now into that final circle, they're performing a lot better than they did previously. They've got 2 kills to themselves, but they've got to get those revives right now. We'll see how that one actually does play out for them. But the boys from CLS now turning the sights onto Team Apex. They're somehow still keeping them at bay in this one. One of the players right there from CLS has gone down. It is the boys Stoner, but Apex are having to run for their money. They've got so many different teams around them who are pushing them and keeping them at bay. And I love this angle from Manny because he's keeping them in this game. And somehow Apex are down to 1 guy, Priest.
Oh my days. Cyclone Shield Esports are not taking no for an answer. They are keeping the guys from Team Apex at bay. They have a 4-man team. They've eliminated Kuma. Kuma is the first Apex player to go sent back into the lobby. Cyclone Shield might just use the opportunity to climb inside of the play zone. But let's not forget about Habitual Gaming. They're still in the mix, sending some shots towards the guys from Invictus. Invictus trying to curtail themselves and find a way inside of the play zone. Smoke's already coming outside there, but Psycho is still trying to be a thorn in their side. He's been spotted and he is going to be sent back by the guys from Invictus. Pintua being the man to do the job, and now the guys from Invictus are going to find an angle to get inside of the play zone from. Big shout out to them, but Team Apex are not letting this one slide. They do want to eliminate the guys from Cyclone Shield. Grenade from Blessed might just connect towards the guys from Cyclone Shield there, but they are going to use the hill to the advantage. Starlight again, the next man to go down. Team Apex cut down to 1 player. Fire, we talked about this. Cyclone Shield is the team. They are the ones to send the guys from Apex packing back into the lobby.
Look at Roach, your boy, currently sitting down with 6 kills. I mean, we've talked about Apex. We've talked about how they have this whole firepower working for them and how they get the kills upon kills. But look at what Roach is doing in this match. He's got 6 kills to himself, and he's not holding back. Manny with the angles is getting those kills and those knocks. But Invictus might be a problem for the boys from CLS. They got to be careful. They got to keep the whole squad together and keep on trying as much as possible to get those kills. The boys from Invictus might just now finally be the ones to maybe get that winner chicken dinner, as right now it's been reduced to a 3v2 situation.
Invictus have somehow managed to squeeze inside of the play zone, but Roach with a beautiful spray drops Storm immediately there, and now this might just be the opportunity for the guys from Cyclone Shield to take this one. The Stoner pulls up as well, drops Pintua, but it's not going to work this time around. The guys from Invictus, they might just decide to take the game. Neo tries again from the left hand side. He's trying to get the revive up, trying to increase the numbers. Roach, now is the opportunity. I believe he knows that the revives are coming through. The grenade is going to work. All you have to do is cook it, turn into a chef. Roach, now is the time. But no, the rest of the guys from Invictus have been spotted again. Now he is going to have to take a 1v3, and he's been spotted, and he is going to be sent back into the lobby. Invictus champions one time.
Oh my god. Ah, man, we did not see that coming. Invictus being the Trojan horse and getting that victory at the end of the day. What a game coming in from them. What a marvelous strategy coming into that final circle. Getting 6 eliminations and the winner chicken dinner. Obviously, the game that they would have been looking forward to after what was not really quite their game in the first day. Invictus, the champions of this first game.
Fantastic play from Invictus there. I honestly totally forgot about them. And you talked about them. They were actually one of the teams that you talked about, earlier. Yeah. You said, oh, these guys haven't shown us, what they've not been. Invictus hasn't been invicting, but now they've shown us that, yes, in this lobby, we can do it. In a lobby that has Apex, Cyclone, Shield Esports, Dream Team, Fowl Play, UKN, we can do it. We can take a chicken dinner. We can put some points on the board. And that is what we're going to do. They managed somehow to put it all together and get themselves the first chicken dinner of the night.
Absolutely lovely gameplay coming in from the boys from Invictus. Peaceful and his boys, found it very difficult. It wasn't easy. It wasn't a walk in the park for them because at some point in time, it looked like Psycho from Habitual was going to take them down. He had got in a knock, but they still managed to keep themselves alive in that game. Major rotations in a match where you had a full Cyclone Shield team in that final circle and just one Apex player. You would think at that moment it would all go down to Cyclone Shields, but they fought their way into that circle and took out the boys from Cyclone Shields. Kudos to them because they played this one quite well.
Yes, they played it absolutely spot on, but we have to give credit to where credit is due. Cyclone Shield were absolutely brilliant. They had a fantastic performance. They have kept the consistency coming in from yesterday's games. I believe by now they are probably going to be first place on the leaderboard, but I'm sure the MVP is going to be Roach. That is for sure. He was absolutely phenomenal in this game. 6 eliminations to him and dealing heavy damage to boot. He was every single corner. He was everywhere for the guys from Cyclone Shield. Every single engagement, he was there. He did the job. He did exactly what he needed to do. He was 6 eliminations from him out of the total 9 that the guys from Cyclone Shield got. I mean, what more can you ask for? IGL with his shoots. What are you saying, bro? IGL with his shoots. Don't play fire. Don't play.
Amazing stuff coming in right there. When you have an IGL that is, getting the kills and as well leading the park, leading by example and getting those knocks after knocks. As you can see the boys right there, Cyclone Shields, leading the park right there with the damages and, just keep on, pushing up right there. Keeping Team Apex at bay is something that you don't see every single day. And Cyclone Shields went toe-to-toe against them in every single angle, and even though Manny just got 2 knocks or 2 kills right there, you still have to give for putting himself in that angle and making giving himself the opportunity to keep them at bay.
Yeah, and I'm so impressed with the way the guys from Cyclone Shield handled, that one, keeping Team Apex at bay. But they still, Team Apex still managed to squeeze out a couple number of eliminations. I believe they got about 7, and they still put the number there. But then again, Fugitive Esports still there. Fugitive Esports is still in the running. They are still one of the top teams, and it is showing right now. They are still consistent. Even from day one, they have been that team. They have kept the energy, and that is what I've been loving to see from the guys from Fugitive Esports. Arrow, Escobar working hand in hand together to bring the numbers up, and look at that, 16 total points.
Amazing stuff right there coming in from all of these teams. Invictus getting the 16 points. Cyclone Shield still very impressive, as well as Team Apex continuing in their consistency. But there's several other teams that we got to take note of. The boys from Fugitives, they got themselves 7 kills so far. They didn't get as much rank points as we would have expected, but definitely getting yourself 7 points, as well as Fowl Play. Fowl Play does give you a lot of confidence going into the next games.
Yes, you need a lot of confidence if you're trying to progress on this leaderboard. Fowl Play, another impressive showing from them. They are ever so strong, ever so capable. I did not really see much of Royal Academy. I didn't even know, they got some eliminations. They were very quiet for the most part of the game. So I believe they eliminated one team somewhere in the background, and somehow, they got some points for themselves, and they did manage to, to boost some elimination points on the prowl. Habitual Gaming also squeezing in a couple of placement points rather, for themselves, putting themselves just into that top 8. Just enough to do something for them, but they need to do better. They need to do more. They need to put numbers on the board if they want to make it into the senior league.
Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff. We've seen great action coming down in the first game. That was absolutely violent. We'll probably be taking a break right now. We'll be right back for some more as the teams are itching to come back and provide you some.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to the West African Professional League brought to you by Three Crown Esports. Yes, it is day 3 of the Junior League and it's still your boy Priest and I'm here with Fire. We just saw Erangel Fire. How did the Erangel game make you feel?
Man, it was absolutely, different from what I initially imagined in my mind. I did have the thought that several different teams like Invictus were going to come out and perform a lot better. Get to the winner chicken dinner, especially the circumstances and how they did it. Man, I didn't see that coming, but it was fire. It was great. It was outstanding, and I hope we'll see more of that.
Yes, I'm hoping to see absolutely more of that. I'm hoping to see more from the guys from Cyclone, Shield, Dream Team, Fowl Play, all of these teams that did very much impress me in Erangel. But then again, Sanhok is a different vibe, Fire. There's too much volatility in Sanhok. The moment you start to rain bullets, the moment everyone in the map is going to hear you and come to your position. And now this, the playing path is going to be, very, very decisive on how these teams play. We are going to be having, so many collisions. So many teams are going to be landing on each other, and I'm looking forward to seeing, how the points are going to reflect that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how that one does play out in this game, and how the teams are going to be performing. We do know that our last game was, I don't know the word to use. It was surprising on many different fronts, because there was a time when you saw the boys from Dream Team just pushing onto Apex, and I thought to myself, look, this is the point where we're going to see at least one of them get taken out. And all of a sudden, you then had them getting into a fight with Rage Esport behind, so they had to make that pull back, get a couple of knocks behind them. Then all of a sudden, while you think, okay, now Dream Team is going to go back, take on the fight with Apex, Fugitives come out of nowhere and start getting one or two knocks. And then Dream Team has to then, backtrack a little bit. So I just felt like it was just so much nerves. Everybody was fired up. And are we going to see more of that now? Because the tactics that these teams are employing, it's just blowing my mind away.
Yeah, you talked about, it's all about the tactics. How do you want to play this? What do you want to do in this moment right now? PUBG Mobile is so fast paced. Every decision is important, especially in high pressure situations like that. The guys from Fugitive made the right call at that moment to pinch into the guys from Dream Team and as well into the guys from Apex, because Apex were within sight. But then they held a very, very narrow position and they kept it going, and that was what I love to see about the guys from Team Fugitive. They were absolutely fantastic in that style. But then I am still looking, more eliminations though, because more numbers. It is always good to increase, the distance between you and some other teams. And I'm looking at the guys from UKN. They've also been consistent as well. They've been doing, very, very well. But then it's not enough. They do manage to squeeze out 1 or 2 eliminations, and then they do not, aim for a higher placement point, owing to the fact that they do come in as a 3-man team.
Yeah, definitely. Sanhok is always that map that's a bit different. Sanhok, provides you with a lot of third parties. You got to take on your fights quickly as much as possible. What team do you think their style best suits, this Sanhok game that we're going to be seeing right now?
A whole lot of teams would love to play the central approach, get into a central part of the map, or get into a central part of the play zone, and then keep the rest of those other teams at bay. And then if you're going to be doing that, you have to be very, very ready. You have to be very prepared to keep a positional advantage for your team and for every other team. I mean, we still have 2 more maps. We've still got Vikendi, we've still got Miramar later on to wrap up the night. So all of these teams now that haven't gotten the best starts of the day, they need more. They need to do better. They need to do more. I'm talking about the guys from Tryout Squad. They did get eliminated once again right out the gates, but somehow, they always manage to get a couple of points by the end of the day, but now they cannot be scraping by. I really want the team that's representing Ghana to represent at the best level.
Sorry about that technical difficulty. Absolutely. We'll see how that one does play out for them, as the boys from TOS will be looking to see if they can perform a lot better. But Priest, just like you said, you know, what do you think is holding them back? Why do you think that they're just trying and winging things, or just trying to figure out like how, you know, the lobby is, or something's just not ticking for them?
Yeah, you need a whole lot of time, a whole lot of preparation, you know, for the lobby that you're getting yourself into. You know, but then the guys from Tryout Squad, I've seen them in other tournaments, other competitions. You know, they do fairly well. But I really want them to do exceptionally in this tournament, because you know I think they are the only Ghanaian team here, and I really love the Ghanaian community. So I really want them to, you know, to do a fantastic job for me, you know, to rep the set, as everyone would say. And then they really do get caught out on early rotations, because that's what happens to the guys from Tryout Squad. They are always getting caught out on early rotations. They do rotate pretty early. They're not one of those teams that likes to wait, you know, and that is why they usually get caught out, you know, and they get sent back into the lobby so quickly.
I think the firepower that I've seen within the team is a bit decent, but I do believe that they do need to watch out for the decision making when it comes to, you know, when you're taking action, because we saw them in that Severny game. They made the push to cross over to the other road and push onto Fowl Play a bit too soon. They had gotten a knock onto one of the Habitual Gaming guys. They had a position up on that building. It looked like they had the upper hand. All they had to do was wait for Fowl Play to make their move and then get one or two knocks. Now you've weakened both teams down, and you can then go over and make that move. When they were crossing over to the other side, they had a vehicle, but they decided to cross the road without it. And that for me was very baffling. All you had to do was smoke your way, take two players to the other side, still keep a height advantage with one player up on that building, so that when Fowl Play is looking to make the move, you can get those knocks from an angle. But they all moved together to that side, and they didn't have any support coming in from, you know, angles. So yeah, that probably, you know, was what affected them. We'll see how they do play things, if they do watch the stream and learn from that, and then probably give us a better gameplay in the Sandhawk game.
Yeah, you know, Sandhawk is a bed full of roses and a bed full of grass. You know, so there will be a whole lot of snakes in the grass, and you know, the person I'm talking about knows himself. The best snake in the grass in this lobby right now. He knows himself. Calls himself an MVP, so big shout out to him, because he knows how to navigate Sandhawk with the rest of his team, and I'm looking forward to that. You know, we can see the playing path is joyful, splits down the middle of the north position, so all of those teams in Paradise Resort, Tapmock and Cowell, and once again, you know, these are teams landing on each other, and this is going to be an interesting engagement, because I do see the guys from Fugitive Esports and Fowl Play heading into Cowell Fire, and I'm seeing a repeat, you know, of this happening before, you know, and I think the last time it was the guys from Fowl Play that got their feelings hurt, so it might just be a possibility again. You know, it's looking like but then New Generation Esports and Dream Team, they are going to be clashing all the way out here in Haftin Fire, and it's looking like this is going to be our first engagement. Mike. So Dream Team are very comfortable in this area. You know, I do know for a fact that they've mastered the area of Haftin very well, and I think they've already gotten themselves one elimination, Haas being the one to claim that first body for the guys from Dream Team. And we talked about Dream Team in the last game. They're very strong, a very capable team, and it looks like they are going to be just nailing these guys from Genesis all the way outside of the northern position. Might just keep them at bay, for the time being. And I'm very, 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 very interested in seeing how they are going to play this position, because I know for a fact they are the masters of her theme. I know that they are very, very capable to play this defensive position, to play these compounds, to play every single cover position in this area, and they are going to keep the guys from New Generation at bay, even by just sheer numbers advantage.
Wow. Just speaking about sheer advantage, there's so many different teams who have little skirmishes going on at different positions. The boys from Rage Esports and GNS are currently going it at each other in the middle of the park right there. Remember, Fowl Play also as well in Cow going toe-to-toe against the boys from Fugitives, just trying as much as possible to see if they can get that knock. It's a map that's moving towards that southern region, that south central region, where a lot of teams currently situated within that. So you can see the boys from Apex just surrounding that region around Quarry. TOS also has a good spot not too far away from boot camp, with the boys from Disparaged sitting quite comfortably right there getting their loot on. But with this fight that we're about to see so far, how do you think it's going to play out for this team, Priest?
Ooh, Amani with the Honey Badger there, catching one of the guys from Goth Esports, is going to send him back into the lobby. And I am loving the aggressiveness coming in from the guys from Rage Esport. Unfortunately, Deji, the MVP, has been dropped down, but Top G is there to catch Grim on the eastern side and sends him back into the lobby with a beautiful, beautiful Joker M416. That is my favorite skin for the M4, that is for sure. And that was a beautiful spray, coming in from the guys from Rage Esports. And I'm loving that they are able to keep the rest of these guys at bay. Unfortunately, they have lost Deji, but 88 Genesis have also found themselves with one elimination coming in from Valley there, and Itachi is the only teammate that he has that is still alive, and they are trying to keep the guys from No Rage from moving up north in this position, trying to keep them, away from that northern shift. The play zone is going to be dictative of how they want to play this position, but I am looking forward to seeing how they're going to manage all the way from the north here with two teams in their area.
Manny is in a dangerous spot right there, as he's got Itachi at an angle of him, and he's got to be really careful, because if Itachi does decide to approach that angle where he's at, he might be able to get a knock onto a Manny, and that definitely would change things from what is a 3v2 situation into a 2v2 and turn things around right here. We'll be curious to see how that one actually does play out, if the opportunity does come in for Itachi to get that knock. But it does look like he's receiving shots from several different corners as the boys from TOS are coming on ground, but Amani is the one to spot Itachi and take him out of the game, getting the lobby right there. So great stuff coming in right there from Amani and his boys getting those kill points.
Ooh, that was actually very, very unfortunate, and I said it, they were caught out there in the middle of two teams, and that is the price you get to pay. You're going to be turned into a sandwich one time, and you are going to be chopped. And that is what happened to that player there from what team was that? From Genesis, I believe. That was Genesis. That was Itachi. Yeah, he did get caught out there, and he is going to be sent back into the lobby. So, unfortunately for him, he just made an unfortunate play, and he is going to be unfortunate again for the guys from Genesis. Once again, they are going to be eliminated right very, very early. Cut down to one player very, very early. It is too early to be losing your players, but engagement is the name of the game. Fowl Play have lost yet another player in this engagement to the guys from Fugitive. I can see history repeating itself. We saw this happen 2 nights ago rather. The guys from Fowl Play getting into a little bit of a something with the guys from Fugitive Esports. Fugitive, they do love to play side to side, especially when they are in these positions. And now the guys from Fowl Play do not have the same luxury, as they are now a three-man team.
I usually don't like fights that happen outside the zone, because I feel like you're fighting against the team as well as fighting against the play zone as well. But sometimes it's inevitable, as the boys from Fugitives have got to take on this fight against the boys right there from Fowl Play. Get a couple of kill points if they can, even if you get taken out quite early, and it is going to be a really, really tough and heartbreaking one, because sometimes the way I see this fight going, it could be mutually assured destruction on both ends because of that OP play zone, who usually has more than 10 KD every single match.
And that is for a fact. But then Escobar is going to be is going to be safe. But that's a beautiful play from Solo there. Solo is going to be playing from the north. He's driving around, trying to get some intel on the rest of the guys from Fugitive Esports. And there comes Lone Wolf, also peeking around the corner. That he spots them inside of the window. Might just be a nice time to use utilities if he had any, but he doesn't have any, and that is unfortunate. Ooh, the guys from Rage Esports are the first teams to go back into the lobby, but not without claiming 3 bodies. So they do get some points for themselves just before heading back into the lobby. But Foul Play still trying to find an angle towards the guys from Fugitive Esports. They are looking very, very comfortable here. Fugitive Esports do have 4 players back up. They've managed to get Escobar all the way back up. He's found a position just on top of that house, trying to peek in. He might just spot Solo the moment Solo tries to peek outside.
Oh, what a fight going on between these two teams right here. But we're seeing on the kill field the boys from Apex get into several different fights, and it will be Rogue Baby sending Starlight back into the lobby. Apex going in for several different fights. They had taken out the boys from No Rage, hit a couple of shots here and there, and now got into a fight with the boys from Invictus. So it's different skirmishes at several different corners. Now coming up against the team Invictus, who did get themselves the winner chicken dinner in the previous game, are now up for a fight of their own, as we're seeing that going down there. But look at this, Priest. Would you say that you should still be fighting in the play zone for this long? Would you pull out of a fight like this, or would you just continue going?
I mean, naturally, I get stubborn head now. I get coconut head. So definitely, I will be taking this fight. The guys from Foul Play are not letting this one slide at all. They've gotten another knock. I believe PlayStation 5 was the one that was able to get that knock onto one of the players from Fugitive Esports. But once again, Fugitive Esports have found a way to get their players still back to a 4-man team. But now Solo, Lone Wolf, and PlayStation 5 need to find a way out of this area. And I believe that's, they decided to make that advancement. But then Arrow spots one of them, sends him back into the lobby immediately. Fugitive Esports looking to tear the guys from Foul Play back into the lobby once again. This is going to be 2 for 2 this time around. The last time they go into an engagement, I believe the guys from Fugitive Esports did deal some damage towards the guys from Foul Play, and it looks like it might just be repeating itself. New Generation Esports as well is one of those teams that has also been trying to get themselves, some beautiful points inside of this position, but they are going to be spotted and feraled out by the guys from Disparaged. And Disparaged Fire, one of those teams that also find a way to get some points for themselves, but not showing out too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking about teams who don't show out too much, in case we missed the action going down between Team Apex and the boys from Invictus, Apex were able to send them back into the lobby. It was a very tough fight going on between the two sides. They had taken out one of the players from Apex, which is Starlight, one of their players who's always making that push over and over again. But Apex found a way to fight back in that particular one and send the team who had gotten the winner chicken dinner in the first game in Erangel back into the lobby.
And that is what happens in this game. I've seen this happen a lot. Teams would win, the first game of the night and proceed to get punished, in the subsequent games almost immediately. I've seen this happen time without number. So it's always very interesting to watch. Shad there, fantastic play from the guys from Habitual Gaming. Somehow they did get some good points, from placement in the last game, but now it's looking like they want some elimination points. And Dream Team, they've set their sights on them. Rash is going to be the last one up for the guys from Dream Team. Archer and Hasabi set back into the lobby, and Storm is going to be confirmed. Beautiful play from Habitual Gaming, but then that is a fantastic play. They've sent the guys from Dream Team back into the lobby at this time.
Ooh, there are a couple of teams that we're usually expecting to perform really well in this particular game, considering the performance in the first half in that Erangel game. But now we're seeing Invictus getting taken out early. We're seeing Dream Team getting taken out early. We're even seeing Apex lose one of their men. So this is moving in ways that we could not predict. Every single one of these teams are putting in the work right there. And we've got to say, we're down to 13 teams in this one. We're moving into that fourth zone spot zone, and the map is moving all the way towards that southern region around where we do still have Painan and Camp Charlie within the zone and little buildings to work with. It's going to be tough for several different teams to make it all the way in there. As you can see, the players was doing some damage onto the boys right there from Fugitives, and CLS is making the way towards that edge where they've got south of them the boys from Apex, GNS, RAG, and as well as INF.
You know, Team Infinity, unfortunately, they did come in as a three-man team. Sky Nova is trying to peek inside of that camping area just to get some intel for the rest of his teammates. But New Generation, you know, they are still playing by the edge of the circle here, you know, just trying to keep the guys from Disparaged at bay. Disparaged is aware of their position, so they might know how to engage them, you know, because that's the beauty of the scout. If the scout is going to find an area to play from, that is what is going to happen. You can see New Generation driving around, just trying to get some intel. He spotted the guys from UKN. He knows that they are there, and that is his job as the scouts. He just drives right through, skids right past, just to feed the rest of his teammate. Okay, there's some ops in this area. We might just need to dispatch of them, because I know Beast, he does love to lead the charge for the guys from New Generation. He is a fantastic IGL, but crazy, you know, he's known for making those crazy plays. So I'm looking, you know, to see if he's going to maintain that energy. They are very, very close outside of the play zone fire. So I'm looking very. Oh, that's a beautiful spray from Array.
Oh, Ray continuing to put in the work right there as he does get another knock right there. The boys from New Generation are trying as much as possible to hold their own, but it's such a tough time for them. And look at that one. Foul Play as well getting taken out of the game. We're down to 12 teams in this particular one. Beast, the last member of his team, holding on for their life as he has the boys from Disparaged just lurking around him, looking to see if they can finally put an end to this team, send them back into the lobby. They are each and you can see Honest just cooking that grenade, waiting to take him out, and boom, it looks like it will be the end, but it won't be. It takes out half of his HP, and Honest is continuing to make that push.
Honest switches to the DBS, and he does get the confirmation. That beautiful play from Honest, keeping this guy honest for sure, keeping him in the corner of the shack there, and he is going to to rid himself of that team. Finally, New Generation Esports, that is going to be the end for them. But UKN just pulling out from the south of their position. They spotted the guys from Disparaged. They are trying to get an angle inside, trying to peek in, get a couple of shots inside of. Unfortunately, you know, the guys from UKN, they do have just two players in the cut, you know, Obito and I believe Duma, you know, just working together. They're trying to work something out against the guys from Disparaged. You can see the shots ringing outside, ringing through, trying to drop, you know, two players from the guys from Disparaged, but it's not going to work out. Beautiful splits though from Disparaged. I am loving their play. You know, they're holding the top ground and still holding the rest of the area. They might just squeeze the guys from UKN and keep them at bay, trying to keep them outside of the next zone shift.
I love the split coming in from Disparaged, like you said. You know, they're trying to keep them at bay. But for me, I will be prioritizing getting into that zone. Honest and his teammate, I do believe that is Array, have got to get themselves into the zone as quickly as possible and hold a good angle regardless. There's several different teams around them. The boys from UNK, Obito, and his teammate will be looking to see if they can hold their own in this game. But they're just a two-man squad. They should be quick work for a team Disparaged, who will be getting themselves into a lot of action so far.
You know, yeah. And Disparaged and Fugitive Esports, they're not necessarily too far away from each other on the leaderboard. You know, Fugitive Esports, once again, giving us a stellar and Oscar performance with 5 eliminations to boot already. And they're just behind the guys from Team Apex in number of eliminations. But they do have an unfortunate scenario of 2 players already dropped down. But now, another elimination to boot right now. They finally run into the guys from Tryout Squad. And this is not looking too nice. Tryout Squad already down to just 1 player. Ooh, that's a beautiful Molotov there. Might just do the trick from player 3, sends a couple of shots towards the guys from Fugitive, might just connect, but unfortunately for him, he cannot see. The smoke's already coming outside, and he is trying to keep so many teams at bay. Danny Brown finally pulling up to the guys from Fugitive Esports, and he is going to be the thorn in their side to save the guys from Tryout Squad from the engagement from the guys from Cyclone Shield. And that is a fantastic play coming in from CLS to put the thorn into the guys from Fugitive Esports.
Oh, just in front of them again, we're seeing the boys from Tryout Squad get taken out of the game so far, leaving that one in 9th position and getting themselves 1 kill so far. Teams are trying as much as possible to move and rotate into that zone. We do see the boys from Apex down to just the one guy, down to just Blessing in that particular one, and it is tough for everyone as they've all been dealt so much damage. Looking at the team so far, Habitual currently sitting down with a 4-man squad, as well as the team Disparaged. INF has got a 3-man squad in this one, so they're looking quite strong. CLS, you can't still count them out, as Manny and Danny Brown are still holding themselves in this particular one. They've got 4 kills to themselves, and it'll be curious to see who actually does grab home that winner chicken dinner and seal this game through, as we're down to 6 teams.
6 teams, Fire. 6 teams and 17 bodies in this tiny circle. But you can see the guys from Royal Academy, somehow they've managed to make it into the top 6. They've got 4 eliminations to them, and you know, I saw them in the last game. They got the same number of eliminations, got 4 eliminations, and still managed to get themselves some placement points. You know, I don't know how they did it, but there they are doing it all over again. Tokyo finally getting out of danger there. Leod has been spotted and dropped down by the guys from Cyclone Esports, I believe. But then beautiful play coming in from Danny Brown there, trying to keep the guys from Apex, and Apex have been sent back into the lobby. Now again, Fire. Apex going out again in elite fashion.
Man, the teams right here putting in the work. We spoke about it yesterday, that the reason why sometimes the lobby seems very balanced is not because of the low quality of teams, but because they're all balanced at an equal level of skill, and we're seeing that being proven with a team that has played at the highest levels within Africa. Team Apex coming into this lobby and not finding it a walk in the park as they have done in several other competitions. The teams are putting them and keeping them at bay, and this one giving them a run for their money, and trying as much as possible to continue to climb up that leaderboard. Great job done from CLS, Habitual, and the rest of the teams fighting now for that top spot and the winner chicken dinner.
The winner chicken dinner is going to be the one thing to boost a whole lot of these teams. Well, I am so impressed with the guys from Team Infinity. With a 2-man team, they have managed to find a way into the top 4. And once again, Habitual Gaming is in the top 4. But this time around, they've got 5 eliminations. Ooh, Woto with a beautiful grenade. And he's trying to give the guys from Habitual Gaming a run for their money. Trying to peek inside the window there. Sends a couple of shots from the left-hand side. He is going to be spotted immediately and drop down to his knees by one of the off players for Habitual Gaming. That is fantastic. Coming in from Habitual, they're keeping it again, but then Disparaged is there to seal the deal, to steal the eliminations, again cutting the guys from Habitual Gaming short by removing 1 extra point for them. Tayo, the last one up for the guys from Team Infinity, trying to find an angle, trying to find a way to enter inside, but Shad is going to be sent baback into the lobby by Dishonest. That's a beautiful play. Drop shot, tries to connect. Tayo tries again, he peeks again, he drops him. Beautiful play from Tayo, trying to drop real 419 again, sends it back into the lobby. Beautiful, fantastic stuff from the guys from Team Infinity. They're trying to make it into that top 2, probably get the chicken dinner even, because you can see the guys from Cyclone Esports, Manny, the last one up, trying to squeeze himself inside of the play zone, and this might just be the opportunity, Fire. This might just be the opportunity for the guys from Disparaged to do something amazing.
It looked at a particular point like this game was going to go all the way to the boys from Habitual, but that push coming in just took out a couple of their players. Now Disparaged are the ones who currently have got the most kills in this particular one, are looking like it is their game. They can make quick work off these teams as they've got a full squad. They're sitting now with a 4-man squad going up against the rest of the teams who have just got 1 each. Are we going to see a ton of events? Are the other 3 players going to be able to put in some damage in this one, or is Disparaged just going to walk through each and every one of these teams? It's looking like that is going to be it, as they do take out another team right here. They've got to just worry about the boys from Habitual and Manny, who's the last player on off for his team.
Ooh, Climax does pull up inside, and he is going to be the one to send the guys from Habitual Gaming back into the lobby. Beautiful spray from Manny there. He sends a couple of shots towards Climax. He is going to drop Climax, and now he's in a 1v2 situation just because this array is all the way down to about 1 HP. He might just decide to take the right-hand side as his anchor. He does switch to the DBS. He is going to try, but the Molotov is going to cook him and cut his HP. Just enough time for the guys from Disparaged to take the winner chicken dinner.
Oh, Disparaged putting in the work right there, getting into the mix in that final circle and getting themselves 12 eliminations as well as the winner with a chicken dinner. Great job done from the boys from Disparaged, just sitting that one through. But again, you just have to give kudos to the boys from CLS, getting themselves into that final circle once again, getting that second spot and 7 eliminations to continue with the consistency that we saw from them yesterday. And my goodness, what that is going to mean at the end of the day on the leaderboard. I can't wait to see.
I'm definitely trying to see what the leaderboard is saying right now, because Cyclone Shield have just been absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. They kept the consistency even from yesterday, and it looks like they're having their work cut out for them. So I'm very, very intrigued to see how the rest of these teams are going to try to catch up. Habitual Gaming, once again, with a stellar performance. They did do very, very well in the last game, but Team Infinity finally stepping up to the plate, but they did not just cut it. They got at least, I think, 1 elimination courtesy of Tayo there. They were able to put some numbers on the board, but they still need to do better. They still need to do more. Habitual Gaming, you can see they did come in with a plan. They did come through with a plan, but dishonest and disparaged. They did the absolute best. They did the job. They did the work. First, they did have double-digit eliminations. I think they are the first team today to actually do double-digit eliminations. So that is a beautiful sight to see. 5 eliminations going into Dishonest, our MVP, our second MVP of the night.
Yeah, lovely one coming in right there from Disparaged, and the work coming in from Dishonest to get those kills right there and just keep on pushing his team up on the leaderboard. We're seeing all of these teams just being absolutely evenly balanced. We spoke about this before the game started, that a lot of teams who were not quite doing so well in the first day will be looking back to say, hey, where can we improve in our game? How do we get the angles? How do we get those splits that gives us the advantage up against some of these teams who you will put up there as favorites to continue to perform well on this third day? And Team Apex are still there. They're still in the talks, but they're not quite finding it as easy or a walk in the park as you would expect them to do.
You know the saying, power must change hands, and power are definitely changing hands, because you can see it is so balanced right now. Just look at that. You can't even tell the difference between these teams anymore. Team Apex is somewhere, they're just somewhere in the crowd right now. They're just a team in the crowd. You're seeing Cyclone Shield Esports, you're seeing Disparaged, you're seeing Fugitive, you're seeing Habitual Gaming, even Team Infinity, Invictus, all of them getting points on the board. I mean, look at that. Only Fowl Play and what is that last place team? I believe that is I'm not sure what team that is. I'm still trying to be familiar with their logo, but only those teams didn't get any points on the board. Just 2 teams in the lobby. That says a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And that team was actually new generation. I do believe they still got a kill. So every single team, packed at least 1 kill in this lobby.
Well, I think there's a possibility for that, but I'm not even certain. But Disparaged did a fantastic job, getting themselves that chicken dinner and getting 14 eliminations, to boot as well. 24 total points. Cyclone Shield is still in the running. They got 16 eliminations, 16 so far, and they have been putting the numbers up consistently. And now they are up 22 points, just 2 points behind the guys from Disparaged, so I'm looking forward to seeing if they are going to contain, and maintain the energy. They've been doing so fantastic since yesterday, but Team Apex not going up, not going down, just keeping it 100, just trying to keep it up together. But Team Invictus is still there. That chicken dinner still keeping them afloat. Fugitive Esports just crawling behind them. Habitual Gaming also there, 15 points to Habitual Gaming, so that tells you that they've been doing their homework.
All right, great stuff. As I do believe this leaderboard we're seeing right now is a mixture of both the first and the second game. So we're seeing the 2 points, the 2 points count for them, with Disparaged now boosting themselves all the way into that top spot with those 24 points. All right, guys, so we'll probably be taking a quick break right now. We'll be right back for some more action pretty soon.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, catch us in a couple of seconds as we take you to Vikendi. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back once again to the West African Pro League, brought to you by Crown Esports. It is still your boy Priest, and I am here with Fire. You saw Disparaged, you saw them do double-digit eliminations, you saw them walk away with that chicken dinner with a fantastic Sanok game. Do you think they can do it again as we head into Vikendi?
I think definitely you can't put anything past them, because you know the performance that we saw in this previous game, it was a very brilliant game, and definitely they should give their IGL a beer right there, because they got themselves into a very good spot, waited for the right moment to take out the rest of the players from Habitual and just push everyone when they needed to. They put on their aggression at the exact right moment, and that's the thing we always talk about teams. You know you got to wait for that right moment to be aggressive. Sometimes you got to be passive. You got to just wait, watch, and see how things play out. And when you get into the right situation, then you start to stomp your feet on teams around you.
And yes, you have to be very, very, very clear in your style of play. You have to be very, very decisive. You have to be proactive. And I'm still looking forward to seeing more teams like UKN, Tryout Squad to get some more points. Infinity as well. I want them to do better. I want them to do more. I want them to get more points on the leaderboard. I want to see them thrive. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them participate in Violence, even Fowl Play. They did get caught out earlier in the last game. They lost, I believe, one player to the guys from Fugitive Esports, or two players, I believe, and it's that thing that happens when teams land on top of each other, land in the same position, a very, very small part of the map. It's a very, very tiny map. Vikendi is equally as tiny, but then we talk about Vikendi and it's all about defense. Find a position, defend it with your heart. And so we saw the guys from Cyclone Shield do that yesterday, in that first chicken dinner for in Vikendi, in that yesterday game, and we saw them do absolutely fantastic, hold the position, and then clean chicken dinner. So do you think that strategy is going to apply this time around? It is a different lobby, but it's still a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. I think being defensive is always the way to go. It will be my strategy. I feel like when I look at what Foul Play did in the previous game, the problem was just that the zone moved away from them. It wasn't because um that strategy of holding your position was probably wrong. For me, I would say do it again over and over again. But the problem is you got to know sometimes when to exit and leave to fight another day. You see the zone coming in, you're fighting against the zone, you're fighting against the enemy, you're being drained by the zone. You got to know when to pull back sometimes. And I feel like by the time Foul Play decided to pull back, it was probably already late for them. For me, the best time to pull back is when you've probably gotten a knock on the enemy. You get one knock, you're on the front foot, you're telling yourself, hey, the zone's coming in, let's pull back now, because the enemy is trying to revive at that particular point in time. They're not making their attack, they're trying to just hold back. So that was probably the best time for Foul Play to pull out, but they delayed, and they lost a couple of men in that fight. So we'll see if they learn from that and they can come back on and in situations like that make better decisions.
Yeah. I do think they need to just be very, very, they don't need to be headstrong. They need to be very, very certain of when to take fights and when, just to see that now this isn't working right now, we will live to fight another day, just like you said. I'm looking to see, like I said, Infinity, UKN, Habitual Gaming. I want to see more. Habitual Gaming have been doing fantastic today. They've been putting themselves, somewhere up there. I think they've mustered about 15 points from these two games. So I'm very, very excited for them, to add to whatever it is they've gained before. So, the leaderboard is going to be very, very, very tricky, for these teams. But then, it is going to be Vikendi. So it's all a matter of who is going to get, that interesting shift into the zone based off on this flight path that goes from the south to the northwest.
All right. So taking a look at this map right here, it would be absolutely wicked if the zone takes them all the way towards that north, eastern region, and all these teams have to travel away. But if it stays central or all the way towards the east, then yes, they have a lot to work with. A lot of them will be within that zone. As you can see, that map moving all the way from that region around Milner towards Double Mestro, and all the teams have regions around Krishak, Goroka, Villa, Castle to work with, and maybe some of them might decide to rotate towards Coal Mine and Trevno.
Yes, and you're right. If the teams do get moved all the way to the northeast region, it's going to be so difficult for them to rotate around. But luckily for them, the zone is centered up very, very nicely. So every team just has an equal opportunity to get themselves inside of the play zone. You can see the western region is looking a little bit packed. Like I see the guys from Rage Esport, Habitual Gaming, Royal Academy, all of them getting into something there. Fugitive Esports there as well. So it looks like that western area, we're going to probably get our first engagement from there. The guys from Tryout Squad, I can see them in Movatra, not too far away from Team Infinity. No team is in Villa, no team is playing it central just yet. You can see all the teams just rotating around from the edges there. But Tryout Squad and Infinity, it looks like they might just be our first engagement somewhere out here in the south.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing these two teams, Tryout Squad, it just seemed like Tryout Squad over and over again, just gets themselves into this little skirmishes early on. And we're curious to see if they can turn things around and finally get that early victory that they do need to continue to boost their performances. They're able to score this Tryout Squad, so maybe they're just trying things out in the tournament, just seeing how they can perform, if they can qualify onto the next stage. I do wish them quite well, but you can see player 3 just looting around for now, just trying as much as possible to see if they can, get prepared for what is about to happen. But what do you think about the team so far? What do you think can ignite a situation like this, where a squad who's not doing quite as well as they probably would hope to, and what do you think can ignite them and change, performances for them?
a chicken dinner for sure. A chicken dinner is definitely going to ignite, a team that ignites any other team. But although we've seen, it's not necessarily the best every single time, because we did see the guys from Invictus, take the first chicken dinner of the night, only to go out as first blood in the following map. So, but I still believe that in this game they would probably be very level-headed. I see Invictus performing very, very well, But then Tryout Squad, I don't have a personal connection, to these players, just owing to the fact that their naming system, player 3, player 4, player 1, I don't know who's behind those players. There's no names, I don't know who is who, owing to the fact that that is the style they've chosen, and it's very anonymous, it's very incognito, so it's impressive that they've kept it like that, But then if they could claim some individuality and personality, and put some names behind those numbers, so we can actually get to know the team and root for them properly. But still, it could still be a part of a mental thing. It's very interesting, for the guys from Tryout Squad. But then Team Infinity, also they're hanging around the bottom of the leaderboard so far. They've not been their first great game was the one they had in Sanok just now, with Tayo getting them one elimination. So I'm looking forward to the guys from Team Infinity doing something fantastic for themselves. I do not know why the center of the map is so empty. I think these teams, they've known that, man, you don't want to be in the center right now.
Yeah, speaking of that center, there are two places within those center that I, as an IGL, would definitely love to be in. Mount Kresnik is one of those places where I feel like Mount Kresnik has beautiful defensive positions. Just outside those buildings, you have that mountain that you can just stay in, and anything that's rotating into Mount Kresnik and just parks their vehicle, you can just spot them. So if you have like one or two players up on those mountains outside of those buildings in Mount Kresnik, you can hold a very great defensive position for any team trying to rotate into those compounds. And if a circle finishes right there, you could find yourself being in a very great spot.
Yes. The areas around Mount Kresnik are very, 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 very nice to defend. It is. I did see the guys from Fowl Play there yesterday. They did a fantastic job defending that position, against the Sidizens, and I saw that happen very, very early, very, very quickly. They were very decisive. They did lose one player in the engagement, but they did somehow manage to, send the Sidizens back into the lobby. And that area in Mount Kresnik, it is inside of the play zone. It is easy to defend if you're going to defend it from the south and the north side, so you're going to have a split to play around that position. Royal Academy, also hanging around on the leaderboard somewhere around the guys from Foul Play as well. So I'm looking forward to them. They've been doing a fantastic job so far. Somehow they managed to get some points back to back in the last two games. Royal Academy have managed to get themselves at least 10 points from the last two games, and that's not too bad, but they need to do more. They need to do better just to keep themselves in that running for the senior league,
Yeah, absolutely will be looking to keep themselves in this one. But taking a look at Habitual, I do feel like Habitual and the boys from Foul Play do keep finding themselves somehow. Like they're in some love-sweet relationship where they just, love to quarrel, get themselves into constant battles, because it just seems like every single game they just keep each other, quite close,
Well, I guess this is like a toxic relationship, because you're going to lose a couple, or you're going to lose someone to gain someone, or to lose someone to gain something, and you did say they like to keep them close, but in the last engagement, Habitual Gaming was a thorn in the side of the guys from Foul Play, after the engagement with the guys from Fugitive Esports coming out of Kao, that north position. But Foul Play, I don't think Vikendi is one of their strongest maps, but they are very, very capable in the defensive play. They do know how to hold positions, but not a lot of Vikendi has gone through for these teams. So, they are all still adapting to the map, owing to the fact that the way the map is set up, defense is very, 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 very important. Cycle is down there with like 1 HP. The guy from Royal Academy might just pull up into his position and eliminate him if he's not careful, or if he doesn't make any kind of extra noise.
All right, all right. Looking at the kill feed so far, we're now seeing the boys from TOS get into a skirmish right there with the boys from NGE. I do believe they were probably making the rotations into that zone. As I do believe it is player 3 who does get a knock and a finish right there onto one of those players. They're taking a look at Crazy and the boys, and they also have another player, which is Beast. Beast is currently down right there. So TOS getting into the mix right there as they are now finally, looking for, what might ignite their gameplay in this one.
New generation. They've not had the best of games so far. They've not been having fun. They've already lost Melted. Beast is down, as you said. Crazy and Cola, the last two up, and the guys from Tryout Squad are advancing to their position, trying to drop them, trying to send them back into the lobby, trying to get 4 eliminations from this engagement. They've already got one spotted again. Cola is trying to drop player 3, and he's successful, but then he is going to be dropped as well. The sheer numbers, the sheer volume of ops right now coming in from the guys from NGE, and they are going to be sent back into the lobby courtesy of the guys from Tryout Squad. Now that is what I'm talking about. 4 eliminations to Tryout Squad.
Absolutely amazing stuff coming in right there from the boys from Tryout Squad. Putting in the work right there to take out a team that has been doing quite decent in this competition, and that's what you need to ignite yourself in this game. But turning our sights right now onto two of so far the best teams in the tournament. You got the boys from Apex and CLS going it toe to toe right here in this particular one, and the boys from Apex have gotten themselves 2 eliminations so far. Another player, Roach, very important player for CLS, has also another player, Danny Brown, was taken down there, and Roach is the one who will probably just be looking to get out of that situation with his vehicle tumbling on right there. He is getting pushed as the boys from Apex are looking to take him out. Can he escape and grab themselves a couple more points? But it does look like Apex is not relenting on this one, as we do see Blessing hopping into the vehicle and continuing with his push.
Cyclone Shield, unfortunate scenes for them. The guys from Apex want to send them back into the lobby. They do know that it is Cyclone Shield. They do know that it is Roach, and that is going to be the work of the day. Beautiful grenade there. That is going to connect a Blessing, but it's too soon. Cyclone Shield have been sent back into the lobby by Team Apex, and that is the plan. That is the strategy for Team Apex. They've eliminated the #1 contender for their position out of the lobby, and you can tell that this was a plan. It was planned work, Fire. Now planned work be this.
Exactly. If you're vying in for that top spot to continue to remain #1, you got to take out your competition, and that's exactly what the boys from Apex are doing, pushing onto the boys from CLS, taking them early out of the game. Does continue to not only give them those kill points, but also reduce the competition in the overall leaderboard, and that is exactly the strategy that they're taking in this one. 2 teams so far. Tryout Squad, who's one of those teams who we've been talking about. They be getting into our sins quite often as being the early losers in this game, but they've gotten themselves 4 eliminations. Are we going to finally see them be rejuvenated? Are they going to be the ones who are going to challenge Apex in this game now the CLS has been taken out? We'll see how that one actually does go and build up in this game if we can.
Yeah, very interesting stuff, for the guys from Tryout Squad, if they are going to be able to manage, to keep the guys, the types of Fugitive Esports, Team Apex at bay. UKN still with their 3-man team. Unfortunately, they've been playing as a 3-man team. They've been playing at a disadvantage. In my book, that is definitely a disadvantage. Foul Play finally putting up towards the guys from Invictus Solo, catching Rogue Baby there, and might just send it back into the lobby. The first elimination for the guys from Foul Play, and it is going to be Invictus Neo, the next one to go down to Solo, and that is a beautiful spray coming in from the guys from Foul Play. Neo has been spotted there, and now he's left to Pinto and Storm, and the guys from Foul Play might just decide to take this engagement. It is a 4 versus 2 Storm, the next one to go down to PlayStation 5. Foul Play decimating the guys from Invictus. Grenade from Locane sends him back into the lobby. Beautiful play coming in from the guys from Foul Play. Solo charging the grenade, and he might just be the one to send the game and end it for the guys from Invictus. The smoke is only barely covering Pintua there, and the grenade is going to be perfectly timed. Solo, beautiful play from the guys from Foul Play. Just they play. Fire, just they play.
They play. The words of Foul Play taking out Invictus in this one. Remember, Invictus is that team that had grabbed the first winner with a chicken dinner in the round girl game, getting sent out quite early here again by the boys from Foul Play. Really absolutely amazing gameplay coming in from them. As you can see the map, the boys from Fowl Play are holding a good position, just a bit not off that Goroka right there. There's so many teams already situated within that center, except few teams such as Goth, GNS, and Rage Esports hanging on that edge. We're curious to see how this one actually does continue to flow as we move on to the stage 3, but we've seen so much action so far as we're down to 13 teams in this lobby and 46 bodies.
Yes, sir. 46 bodies inside of the lobby. There's still so many bodies. That is still so many players for this kind of circle. We are going to be heading into phase 3 of the zone very, very shortly, and that is not necessarily going to be the quickest shift. You know, as we know, Vikendi's third phase shift are not necessarily the most brutal. You know, but the fourth phase shift is going to be very, very hectic. You can see the guys from Disparaged making that proactive decision to be in a little bit of a center area. You know, in Villa, they are going to be holding this position, but Villa is not necessarily the best position to hold. You know, Tryout Squad is north of their position, just holding a little bit of a compound outside. You can see player 1 is going to be scouting out. You know, I think he's feeding intel to the rest of his team to tell them that this is going to be a viable position to hold, and I believe they are going to pull up to that scene. PlayStation 5 is still dealing damage towards the guys from Goth Esports. He is very, very comfortable as they continue to rain havoc towards the guys from Goth Esports.
Oh, speaking of raining havoc, you can see them now pulling onto that position where Slim is currently situated. He's trying as much as possible to hold them back. Slim can't send in on the shots onto the position, but there's already so much damage done to his HP. It does look like the elimination is going to be coming through as PlayStation 5 is just lurking around that corner. He doesn't pull up into that building because Locane is currently down. Can he get that revive just in time? But he's coming up against a 2-man squad. It's still a 3v2, so they should be able to get that revive quite easily and make a quick walk off Slim Card in this particular position, but he's doing his best to hold them back. He does need the support of his teammates in this particular region. His teammate has got an angle, so if he's able to pull back, he can get some shots from that corner. PlayStation 5 HP reduced a bit there, but finally Slim Card does go down.
Ooh, fantastic play from Slimka there, but the DPS was just not enough to save him. And now the last player for the guys from Goth Esports, it is going to be Yelena there, you know, watching and observing from a distance as the rest of her teammates do get sent back into the lobby. And it's an unfortunate scenario. Foul Play still up to 4 players, still 6 eliminations up, and they are leading the group right now with 6 eliminations. Apex with 4 just following them behind. Goth Esports, unfortunately for them, you know, they did have a 3-man team, you know, and it's just an unfortunate scenario that they did get caught out, they did get dropped through, and now we are looking forward to seeing how they're going to manage with just a single player.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely lovely stuff coming in from the boys from Foul Play, leading the charge when it comes to kills in this one, as they've got themselves 6 eliminations so far, and trailing behind them is Team Apex and the boys from Tryout Squad with 4 kills each. So lovely aggression coming in from the team right there. You can see Yulenai just looking onto the boys from Foul Play with so much anger and aggression, probably in his eyes, just saying, can I get one scapegoat before I get taken out? So probably is the thing ringing on his mind, but he's got to be really careful in this one, as we also see on that kill feed. Apex continue with another onslaught, getting themselves a full wipe onto a squad as they do take out Genesis so far. Now the ones who are with the most eliminations in this game with 8 kills so far.
8 eliminations going into the guys from Apex. Wizards in performing and casting spells on the rest of these ops as the bullets from him continue to ring. It's 4 eliminations to his name, and unfortunately, you know, the guys from GNS just did not see the breeze that blew, you know, right through them, and that breeze was some Amatan, because he dried up all of them immediately, sending them back into the lobby. And it's just an unfortunate scenario for the guys from Genesis. They've not had the best of games throughout today, and it's just an unfortunate scenario for them. You know, I'm looking, I hope that they are going to have a better Miramar game, you know, and this is not a place you want to get eliminated in. No placement points, no elimination points, just 0, you know, and that is just sad. That is just sad. But I'm looking towards the guys from Habitual Gaming. They have lost 1 player. They do have the guys from Royal Academy still trying to keep them at bay, still trying to box them out, you know, and I'm seeing that you know, Lyco Boy is just hopping from roof to roof, you know, trying to keep his footsteps hitting against the guys from Habitual. Hops into his vehicle, and he might just make the conscious decision to hop into the play zone.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Make that conscious decision because you don't want to be fighting outside the play zone and taking on this fight. We spoke about it in the last game. That was probably one of the mistakes that Foul Play made. And a team that's as good as Foul Play, we saw how that affected them in that last game. You know, fighting outside the play zone might be mutually assured destruction even for both teams. But let's see how this one goes down for Habitual. They do have a tendency to do this quite often, and I don't see that as being, you know, quite a great strategy if you want to continue climbing up on that leaderboard. But regardless of the fact, we do see lovely speed coming in for the boys from Royal Academy as they have a player who is up on that mountain. I'm left to see how that one actually does play out for them in this one.
You know, some teams do value engagements, especially with the new point system. You know, like Obo, you can see that the guys from Royal Academy, they want the smoke, they want to eliminate the guys from Habitual Gaming because they know for a fact it is going to give them some points, and they need all the points they can get. You know, I've been seeing them today; they've been collating points low key. They've been getting 4 points here, 5 points there. You know, just building themselves up on that leaderboard, just increasing their numbers, just little by little. You know, poco a poco. That's what they're doing, and I'm loving to see that. You know, but then, you know, what happens next? What happens if the guys from Habitual are ready to tank, you know, the blue zone even farther than you? What do you do then? Because the moment you decide to hop out of this position, that might just be the time Habitual Gaming will decide to take the engagement against them.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see them just pulling out of that particular fight, making the right decision to just get out of what might be a very tough situation. But with Apex looking around there, looking to get 1 or 2 kills, it does look like they've got in a knock onto one of the players right there from Habitual. And Apex now beginning to farm out the kills that we had expected to see them in the previous games. They've gotten themselves 9 kills so far. There's still a lot of eliminations to happen, and they're keeping on this fight. Now we're turning our sights onto the boys right there from Tryout Squad. We saw them get into some early action in the beginning, but they're getting really close to the boys right there from Dream Team.
Ooh, that's a beautiful grenade coming in from, I believe that is Rash there and Storm, or both of them using all of their utilities. Haas is going to be knocked down. Archer has been confirmed, so it's going to be very difficult, but that's a beautiful grenade from Rash. He drops player 1, and now the rest of the guys from Dream Team, now is the opportunity to take the advance. Now is the opportunity to take the push. The grenades are coming out inside, but I believe these guys from Disparaged just pulled up to the scene. They are north of that position, trying to keep them at bay as well. Dream Team have a lot of work to do if they are trying to survive this position. Beautiful use of the smoke there. Player 3 might just use that opportunity to hop, skip, and jump out of that area right now. Dream Team still having a very tough one to play, but the confirmation from player 5 is going to come right through. Dream Team are cut down to 2 players, but player 5 has been spotted. He's going to be dropped from the distance there by the guys from Royal Academy. They've been waiting soon to get an elimination, and now that just might be the opportunity.
Oh, TOS having a better game than they have had in previous days. You can see that nade pulling up onto that position where Storm is at, but it's not able to take him down, just reduce a little bit of his HP. But player 3 beat absolutely brave in this one. He jumps out of the window looking to see if he can make that push onto Storm, but I do believe he's got to be really careful right here. He does a little bit of damage, but it's not quite enough. They're both trying to heal each other quite quickly right there, but the play zone is going to be providing the support in this one, and look at what we have here. Finally, the boys from TOS are having the support that they do quite need, and you can see player 3 is not having any of that. He's looking for the last guy from Dream Team and looking to make sure he takes him down.
Ooh, Disparaged in the background there, dealing heavy damage towards the guys from Tryout Squad, and it is going to send them back into the lobby, but not without them getting themselves with some good points. You know, they did get up to 5 eliminations for themselves, so that was a fantastic way to go out. They did go out swinging, but Disparaged once again putting some beautiful numbers for themselves. They've already got 2 eliminations courtesy of Shin, you know, and they are looking like they might just clutch a back-to-back chicken dinner, because the way they're set up right now, they have a very strong position, you know, inside of the play zone, but then not stronger than Team Apex. Team Apex, look at the split from Team Apex. It is insane. It is absolutely insane. They are holding the entire northeast position for themselves. Fire. It looks like this is going to be a split where they start to take, you know, bodies left, right, and center.
Team Apex before this game has been getting a couple of eliminations. They have just kept on racking those points as they should, but coming into this game, they're currently sitting down with a 10 eliminations so far. They've still got a full squad. So does Foul Play as well, but they're holding a great position and a good split right there in in that zone. And what that means we'll see how that one actually does play out. It'll be great to see a fight coming down between Fowl Play and them on who challenges to get that winner chicken dinner. But speaking about Fowl Play, they have Solo, who is currently down, coming up against the boys from Rage, and we'll see how that one goes as they are just getting dealt with.
It is an unfortunate scenario in that northern position. The guys from Rage Esports catching Fowl Play, but Habitual Gaming are still there, still getting themselves once again into the top 7 teams. Infinity also here as well. That's the first look of one of the players from UKN. Tayo once again doing the Lord's work for the guys from Infinity. They're dealing damage towards the guys from UKN, eliminating them one after the other. Woto now, the next one to get a confirmation. 2 eliminations to Tayo there. He's been absolutely fantastic. Disparaged finally falling short towards the guys from Royal Academy. Somehow, once again, Royal Academy is still one of those teams that manages to get themselves into that top bracket of the final circle, and it's so impressive how consistent they've been throughout today. Again, the points starting to rack up for all of these teams, but Disparaged, they do have a defensive position. Beautiful spot there from Climax there, but he's been spotted, and I see Royal Academy, you know, this is a beautiful position from them. But do you think the play zone is going to help them, or is going to be against them when they're trying to rotate?
Well, definitely, I'm not going to trust the play zone, because the play zone has only one objective, which is to take you down. So definitely, you should always try as much as possible to be getting into the zone as quickly as possible. I do think that is what the teams around here should be doing. With only Apex currently situated within that zone, the rest of the teams will be looking to find a way to cross in right there. And look at it. We spoke in the beginning about Mount Kresnik being, you know, a good spot for a lot of these teams, and you can see right here, it's just finished on that edge of Mount Kresnik, and all of these teams are looking to get a good spot. But Team Apex is going to be keeping a lot of them at bay so far, as Habitual will be looking to get in from that southeastern region, as well as the boys from Rage Esports coming in from that north central region on the side. I'm curious to see how this one actually does play out. UNK put it up a great fight right there, but Tayo will have something to say about that as he gets taken down. He also goes down as well, and it is party after party at every single corner, with Team Apex still looking quite strong in this one.
Team Apex holding the entire north, you know, for themselves in a 2-2 split. You can see Starlight, you know, in the north-hand side, and you can see the guys, the rest of the players, Blessing and Wizard, you know, holding that eastern position, and the guys from Team Apex, they are looking very, very strong. And that's a beautiful position coming in from the guys from Habitual Gaming, but they've been spotted by Team Apex, and they are going to be sent back in grand style by Apex. 13 eliminations to them, and now Infinity falls victim. Team Apex, 14 eliminations and counting. They are continuing to deal damage to the lobby. They're dropping bodies left, right, and center, and that is what I love to see. Now they're doing double numbers. Now they're doing double numbers. They want to eliminate. They want to get rid of these teams, but Disparaged has something to say. They might just decide to take the engagement towards the guys from Rage Esports. They do pull up to the north. Climax trying to be safe right there, but he's been spotted by Wizard, and now again he's blown up by the guys from No Rage. Armani pulls up, drops him to his knees immediately. UMP reload immediately as well, but again he peeks out too much, and the guys from Apex are still in the southern position, dealing damage towards them.
Apex Wizard and his boys just performing the wizardry, just sending them shots over and over again. Wizard is going to sitting down with 8 kills to his name. He is performing the magic. But on the other side, you have Deji and his boys putting up right there, trying as much as possible to get the confirmations and send out the boys from Disparaged back into the lobby, with the zone shifting all the way into that 6th stage. It is party after party in several different corners. These teams are trying to just hang on for dear life in this one, and all of a sudden, it is the boys from Rag who have the zone. Apex has got to rotate in right now. We're still down to 4 teams. 4 teams. Rage is currently with a 4-man squad. Tokyo and his boys sitting down with just 2 players. Disparaged, who got the winner with a chicken dinner in the Sandhog game, has just 1 player, which is Array, left in this game. But Team Apex are still quite solid, holding their own with a full squad right here.
Fantastic play coming in from the guys from Team Apex. Somehow, someway, they've managed to squeeze themselves inside of the play zone, but then the play zone doesn't provide a lot of cover for them. You can see them, north of that position. They are within sight of all the teams right now. There is no cover. There is no safety. You can see Kuma peeking behind the rock there, just trying to get an angle on Tokyo, just trying to eliminate him because he is trying to be a thorn in the side. But Lighter, the next one to go down towards the guys from Rage Esports, and Rage might just decide right now that now is the time for them to make the advance inside of the play zone. And yes, it is. Top G is going to crash into that position, use the vehicle for cover right there, and that is a fantastic play from Top G. He makes the right choice the right time. But now the grenades from Apex, the grenades from the guys from Royal Academy also coming in. He is going to be spotted, and ooh, that's a beautiful snipe from Kuma there. Team Apex once again showing why they are so good. But Starlight is going to be peppered down to about 1 HP the moment he decides to peek outside. The guys from No Rage are not letting them hear this one. Any movement gets bullets sent your way.
Ooh, there was some no rage right there. Have one man who is currently down and bleeding out. It is your boy Top G who was trying to get them into a good position, but he got taken down. And this is the moment where you actually do begin to prove yourself to be champions. When you get into situations like this, you're the final circle. The circle gets in. Those knocks are very important. Wizard goes down. He's the one who's currently MVP for Apex. If they can get that revive back, then they do most likely guarantee their win. You can see Blessing trying to pull up into a position where he does get an angle onto the boys right there from Rage, but Amani trying as much as possible to keep them in this game, as he is the last guy, the one who is still keeping them in this particular game. Can he get those revives just in time, at least to bring back a teammate into the fight right there, as he does send on shots onto that position where Starlight and Blessing are situated.
Oh, fantastic play coming from the guys from Team Apex. They are going to be the ones to send the guys from Rage Esports back into the lobby, and it's all left to Tokyo, the last player for the guys from Royal Academy. But then here comes Apex trying to descend on him. They are going to try to run him over, but it doesn't work. He is going to get the first knock on Starlight, and he is going to send Starlight back into the lobby with quick effect. That is for sure. But he's trying to take the guys from Apex one after the other. He tries. He pops to the left-hand side. The pan comes outside, and he is going to work. Team Apex clutching the third chicken dinner of the night. "19 eliminations. 19 eliminations. I believe that is the highest we have seen. That is the highest number of eliminations I have seen so far. Team Apex once again showing the entire lobby what is possible and why they are one of the best teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Apex being, outstanding in this one. They grabbed a whole bunch of eliminations. I can't even do the calculations off my head. I do believe it is 19 eliminations that they were able to get so far. Lovely stuff coming in from them. We saw them with that momentum from the beginning till the very end, and they were able to see things through right there. So we're curious to see how that one actually does shape up in the entire leaderboard. But my guess is that they are leading the pack on top.
Yes, they definitely have to be leading the pack, because after that performance that they just gave us, whoo, and I was thinking, the lobby had just started to adapt to their performance, adapt to their abilities, but we did talk about Vikendi being a more defensive map, but then, Team Apex, they played their style, they used terrain, they were not in buildings, they just played with the environment, they used the environment to their advantage. They played a 2-2 split, they had the zone by the throat, and they used the zone to their advantage. They were hosted up in the north for the lengthiest of time, working the play zone in a 2-2 split, and they did an absolutely fantastic job of keeping all the other teams at bay. MVP has to be Wizard. Yes, it is Wizard. Wizard was an absolute demon, man. He was casting spells left and right to these ops, and he was able to drop them, majority of them, and I'm so impressed, for the guys from Team Apex, giving us these amazing numbers. 9 eliminations just from him alone, dealing consequential damage to the rest of these teams. 3, look at the damage numbers, Fire. It is absolutely insane. Big numbers coming from the guys from Team Apex.
Absolutely lovely stuff coming in from Team Apex right there, keeping their hopes alive and dreams as they continue to perform quite well in the tournament so far. 3,000 damage. I mean, sometimes I don't like to mention these numbers, but when you see something as outstanding as that, you've just got to acknowledge it. Lovely stuff coming in from Team Apex as they have gone back to the drawing board and said, hey, you know what? We're going to do what we do best. We're just going to keep on farming the kills and chasing down the teams. We're not going to give rotations any thoughts, or we're just going to go for as much kills as we can as possible. You can see that definitely does work out for them at the end of the day as they do get that winner chicken dinner. But Pris, for me, I think the decisive moment was when they took out CLS in the beginning of the game.
Exactly. I was going to say that because that was the plan. I told you, now planned work. That's the definition of planned work. When you sit down, with the rest of your team and then you plan the work, because that's really what Team Apex did. They planned. They said, okay, Cyclone Shield, this is what they're about. This is what they love to do. We're going to deal with them early on, and then send them back into the lobby right out the gate and not have to deal with them, But then, it's so impressive how Team Apex have now climbed up to the leaderboard in first position with a beautiful, beautiful play coming out there. All it took them was a chicken dinner. They've been consistent so far. They've been getting points in every single game. They've been averaging at least 8 points per game in the past couple of games, but now they've started to, lengthen the gap. I mean, this is over a 25-point gap, between them, I believe, or more like a 20-point gap, between them and the next team. I believe that is Disparaged coming in clutch as well in second place. But no Rage Esports, Cyclone Shield, and Royal Academy, fantastic play from them as well. They are keeping, their wits about them. But the rest of these teams, Fire, tell me, what more do they need to do? What more?
I think looking at a team like Fowl Play, when you're seeing them sitting down in that 9th spot, it doesn't tell the full story of the entire day, because although they've not been able to get a lot of those rank points, they have been fighting, they have been getting the eliminations. You can see them with 13 eliminations so far. So what I would say is, yes, kills are important, but so is ranking up as well, because you can see a team sitting down in that 5th spot like Royal Academy. They've gotten just 10 eliminations, as well as Invictus. Not as much eliminations as Fugitives has gotten or Fowl Play has gotten, but they consistently getting those ranks, being in those top 5 spots and getting themselves those extra placement points. So it's a bit of the two. While you're going to be getting the fight, I believe that you should be getting them in those final circles.
Yes, I'm very impressed with the guys, with the likes of Royal Academy. You can see them; they are still one of the most consistent teams today. They've been keeping their wits about them. They've been keeping that energy. They've been placing very, very highly. On the ranking scale, always finishing very, very strongly in that top form, and they've still been getting eliminations to boot. So I'm very, very impressed with their play. But we are going to be heading into the final game of the night. That is going to be Miramar, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to be taking a little bit of a break, and by the time we come back, we are going to be bringing you action straight from Miramar. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, y'all, it is the West African Pro League. Yes, sir, it is that time of the night to bring you the final game. We are going to be heading into Miramar. We just saw the guys from Team Apex deal heavy damage to that lobby. It was, like I said, it was planned work. They planned against the guys from Cyclone Shield, eliminated them right after. Started just running amok with fire. So do you think Apex is going to do the same thing again in Miramar now that they've shown the lobby how they are capable?
I don't really know. I can't really say for sure or predict that is going to happen again. I feel like they had a lot of time to build up on their gameplay, without getting a lot of third party in the Vikendi game. And that's what Vikendi allows you to do early on, because there's a lot of build, there's a lot of cover. So they were able to push onto CLS, take them out, build on, take out a couple of teams without getting a lot of those third parties in the beginning of the game, and then proceed to hold a very good spot in that final circle. I don't necessarily think that you're going to have that in Miramar, because Miramar is so big, but as you get closer to each other, there isn't as much cover as you find in Vikendi. So there will be a lot of third parties that might sort of hinder them from having the same kind of performance that they had in the Vikendi game. So we'll see how that one progresses. Maybe they will continue the onslaught, but maybe other teams might just step it up again.
Yeah, you're right about that, because gameplay is very heavily dependent on, terrain in Miramar. The higher positions you can get inside of the map, the better for you and your team. But then the play zone also is going to play a factor. You can see this plane path is heading in from the northwest all the way down towards the southwest, cuts across right through there. But the play zone is not playing nice. It moves a little bit towards the east. So those teams like Tryout Squad and Team Apex are already having their work cut out for them. So all they have to do is just maintain their position. But again, violence already starting to ensue right there. Team Invictus getting caught out. Neo is going to be spotted by an M24 from Arrow there, shot after shot. He is going to be dropped immediately by normal Riz, and Invictus once again in danger fire once again.
Oh, Invictus is one of those teams that sometimes finds themselves in a very unlucky spots. We spoke about them before the game started today as one of those teams that we do believe has the potential to be able to perform quite well, but sometimes they find themselves in these situations where they may lose one or two players. This time around they might be able to get that revive courtesy of Storm onto Neo right there with Rogue Baby on the building right there holding up, but we'll see how that one does go down.
Yes, sir. I am looking at how this is going to pan out for them, but then the guys from UKN pulling up to the scene. Beautiful spray from Obito there, and they are going to be sent back by Fugitive Esports. Here we go again. UKN getting caught out right out the gate so early. So early. Unfortunately, UKN have not had the best of games today.
Yeah, UKN getting dealt with in that particular one, not having, as you said, quite a game so far. But they did get 2 eliminations in that particular one, so that probably would act as some consolation for them. On the other hand, you have the boys from Fugitives pushing onto this position where Invictus is. It did look like at the beginning of this fight it was going to go to the way of the boys from Fugitives, but now having lost 2 players to themselves, we'll be curious to see how this one does go down, with the boys from Invictus looking quite strong to take them on right here. They've got Pito has got a 1 kill. Rogue Baby has a good angle, but it does look like she spotted someone maybe from another team around this region. We'll see how that one actually does flow, but what a fight coming in right here. I don't believe Fugitives can get out of this one with... I don't see them getting out of this one, Priest.
Yeah, Fugitive, they have gotten themselves a little bit of some eliminations already to boot, coming out in the engagement versus the guys from UKN. But it is very interesting. I think the guys from Fugitive are in a split. I don't think they've lost 2 players. I think they're in a split. I think this, they're in a split right now. They've been caught out between themselves and Invictus. But Arrow is going to be spotted there. Shots are going to be sent his way. And P2 might just decide to take that 1v1 against him. And again, Invictus They did start very, very strongly today, but the last two games they did not do their best. They did not have the best, finish in those games. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they are going to, keep their energy levels up. It's so hectic when you start the day with a chicken dinner and only to backslide with two games. Basically they've nullified what the chicken dinner did for them already.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They'll be looking to see if they can boost up their gameplay right here, because those other games, like you said, haven't really gone their way. Rogue Baby not on the sides onto Sexy and getting that confirmation with the boys right there from Invictus, getting 3 kills by taking out one of their major opponents in this one from the game.
Ooh, you were actually right. I didn't even know, the guys from Fugitives Esports had already lost 2 players. I thought they were in a split. I thought they were in a split. I thought they were the ones that were fighting UKN. I thought it was them that was fighting UKN. So I have no idea what happened in that area. But unfortunately, they've already gone back into the lobby, and it's just an unfortunate scenario for them. They've been having a blast today. They've been having some very good games. They've gotten some good points for themselves. So hopefully, I think they've done just enough today to keep their hopes and dreams of getting into the senior league afloat. Well, I haven't necessarily seen, the same energy from the guys from Dream Team. I did see them a fantastic play from them in Erangel, but since then, they've been quite quiet. They've been quite silent. Why do you think that is, though?
I'm not really sure. You could say it's not really down to them, but down to a lot more other teams stepping things up. We did see quite a game that was stressful for a team like Team Apex, but Apex now stepping up as we did move on to other maps might also have affected them, with also teams like Cyclone, Shield, Disparaged stepping up their game. It makes it quite difficult for every team to be able to stamp their foot on the map. Maybe this Miramar game might be just the one for them to be able to show what they're capable of again.
Yes, capability. I really want to see more of it from the guys from Dream Team. Speaking of dreams and keeping your team alive, Disparaged. They've been managing somehow to keep their energy levels up as well ever since they did get that chicken dinner in Sandhawk tonight. So they've been doing, a very, very, very good job of keeping some points on the board right there. I saw them. They are in the top part of the leaderboard for this lobby, so that is very, very fantastic. That is very, very good. But then I am still looking forward to seeing them get more and more points just to push themselves even further in the overall leaderboard. Do not forget, all of these points count towards an overall leaderboard, and that is where the top 22 teams are going to graduate from into the next stage.
Ooh, so looking at this zone right here, we do have the boys from Apex once again finding themselves in a great position in Minas, in that center right there. Not too far away from them are the players from TOS, and we also see Rage making the rotations. Fowl Play is also hopping on the vehicles, obviously looking to find himself in a central position, but there's a lot to work with. There's Junkyard, there's El Azahar, currently empty, as well as Hacienda. So all these teams have a lot of buildings and positions to work with as we are now finding ourselves moving into what is the second stage of the zone.
The zone phases play a very, very vital role, in how these teams are going to be very decisive in how they play. Pintua, playing a very, very sweet spoiler for some of these teams already. Speaking of the guys from Fugitive Esports, sending them back into the lobby, but Invictus have found their calling. But I'm looking forward to seeing if the guys from Dream Team are going to do something. They're usually called the unsung heroes of the lobby because they do put the work in, but they don't necessarily do it at the loudest tone. They do not do so much, but they do just enough to keep their hopes alive, to keep their dreams alive, if I'm going to be using that lingo. But then new generation esports, just like Dream Team, another team that is trying their best to put something interesting out there, but they do always get caught out on rotation. But hopefully, I do not want them to get caught out on rotation this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how that works out for them. As you said they are one of those teams who've not quite had it quite, or maybe not quite had the luck on their side so far as they get keep getting caught out while they're trying as much as possible to get themselves into a favorable spot within that zone. They find themselves just at the edge of the blue zone, coming in quickly. Just south of them are two teams who we do expect to do, quite well in this particular game. Dream Team and Invictus rotating around them. And if modern predictions serves me right, we might see just three teams get into a three-way fight and the play zone doing a lot of damage to them. As you can see them just around those regions around Picado.
Yeah, the play zone just shifting a little bit north. You can see the guys from Habitual Gaming rotating all the way from Tora and Humada, and it looks like that's going to be a very, very nice one for them. I believe that is the guys from Rage Esports. They've been spotted by Tryout Squad. Tryout Squad did have a very, very good game in Vikendi. They did get some eliminations right out of the gate there, so hopefully they've seen that okay, there is a strategy they can apply, and it might just be what does the trick for them, is what's going to keep them on top of the other teams. So far they've been doing partially okay, and they've been getting some points on the board, but that last game that they had, that has been the best performance I've seen from them. They got a significant number of eliminations. They held on to the play zone. I think they even managed to get some placement points to boot as well, but they still need to do better. They still need to do more, just like Habitual Gaming have been doing. They've been absolutely fantastic today, keeping themselves inside of every single engagement and still managing to get themselves some placement points to boot as well.
Absolutely. We'll see if we can get a bit more from the boys from Hab as we continue to progress in this game. We've still got about 14 teams overall still present in this game, as we've just lost two teams so far, the boys from UKN and Fugitives. Dream Team had one of the players currently sent down, and we did speak about it as we might be getting into some action outside that zone, and we're seeing that beginning to happen right here between the boys from Dream Team and the boys from MGE.
Cyclone Shield, a beautiful play from Manny there, manages to squeeze out a couple of eliminations for his team. And the guys from Cyclone Shield, it looks like this might just be one of those games where they will show their abilities. They are very, very strong defensively, and they do know how to play the top area. Ooh, New Generation have actually won a fight against the guys from Dream Team, and this is what we said. New Generation always getting caught out on rotation, and unfortunately for them, they were already inside of the play zone, or rather inside of that position, and they were able to catch the guys from Dream Team unawares, and that is a beautiful way to start the day. New Generation 4 elimination up, and they are leading the charts right now with those 4 eliminations.
Amazing stuff coming in for the boys from New Generation. We did speak about this, fighting in places sometimes doesn't go your way as you would have wanted, as the boys right there from Dream Team get sent out quite early. They were making those rotations from that southwestern region as they did just get caught out. So teams right there, Invictus and New Generation, have a lot of work to do to find themselves in that play zone right there. They've got to hop into the vehicles as we are heading towards that stage 3, and so many different teams are currently not in the zone right now. Apex, who was sitting down in Graveyard, have got to make the rotation. TOS is already on the way right there close to Patron. Right there in treatment, you do have the boys from CLS as well as GNS within that zone. In the middle of the park, we do have Deji and his boys from No Rage situated right there, as Habitual is somewhere around Cruz Deville.
Yeah, Habitual Gaming, I do love their rotational pattern. They've always found a way to get themselves inside of that final zone, and that is what I've been enjoying from them. But you can see Itachi just hanging by the wall there, trying to keep the guys from Cyclone Shield at bay, trying to push them all the way back. But then the guys from Cyclone, they want the smoke, they want this fight, they want to take that compound, because Cyclone Shield, they do love to play those defensive positions. They do love to, hold compounds, hold buildings. They are very, very strong when they have those positions. But then again, this is not the most ideal spot to take a compound from, because they are exposed to guys from Tryout Squad. Tryout Squad is ready to take some engagement towards their position. You can see the bullets already starting to ring out. Roach is cut down to about 50 HP, but he is going to manage to get out of dodge just in time to recoup with the rest of his teammates, and it might just use the opportunity, to reset and refresh themselves, to get another better position inside of the play zone.
Well, definitely, definitely. You don't want to be joking with the placing. You want to be making those rotations as quick as possible. As we can see right there on the kill feed, Team Invictus losing a player, Storm, right there towards that place zone. And that's what you want to do. You want to be rotating in as quickly as possible to that zone as you can. As the boys right there from New Generation are also making the move into the zone. They're not too far away from Team Apex. But speaking about Apex, they're also in quite a short distance from the boys from Fowl Play. We might see a fight going down between the two of them. It's a crazy one so far, Priest, in this lobby, as we still have about 13 teams so far, 48 bodies, regardless of the amount of action we've seen.
Yeah, the play zone is doing its job. It's a little bit of a centered zone, so the engagements aren't really cooking, so far. Everyone is trying to keep their energy levels up, but then Team Apex are south of that position. They might just be running into the guys from Fowl Play if they are not careful enough, but then Disparaged does pull up to the scene, catching them as well off guard, and they need to be careful. Bodies start to drop, they start to hit the floor. Shy using the smokes just to shield his teammate there. He might just be spotted. PlayStation 5 is still down. Starlight does pull up to the scene, but Solo gives his back open, and he might just be spotted by the guys from Disparaged. Starlight decides to pull up to the scene. Grenade in hand. He might just spell curtains for the guys from Fowl Play. That's a beautiful grenade, and he might just do the job right here. Shin is peppering them from the back, and now Apex from the front. Fowl Play have been sandwiched, and that is not what you want to do right now. They've been spotted. Shy again trying to escape from that scenario. Shin not letting any of them rest, sending them one after the other back into the lobby. Team Apex is still pulling out as well from that position, and they are going to be sent back into the lobby. I believe that is going to spell the end for the guys from Fowl Play if they are not careful. Team Apex still hot on their tail. And you can see Team Apex looking very, very comfortable, Disparaged as well, equally as comfortable fire.
Absolutely, absolutely. Disparaged being absolutely sinister in that one, sending them knocks onto the boys from Fowl Play while they were trying to hang on for dear life against the boys from Apex who were pushing them in that location. What a tough time for all of these teams as we're down to 12 teams in the lobby so far. Fowl Play have somehow found themselves with some relief as they have gotten themselves into a building. Disparaged trying to find a spot that they can call their own and hang on towards that edge. With the boys from Apex rotating away from that position, trying to find a better spot for themselves within the zone so that they can continue to get the knocks and the kills.
Yes, the guys from Team Apex, they are very, 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 very strong. They do know how to play the terrain. And we talked about this. That is Team Apex's play style, playing the terrain. But then all of these other teams do love to play it just like that. And speaking of Team Apex, they are getting their backs handed to them by the guys from Team Invictus. Invictus have finally found their footing. They've sent 2 players from Team Apex back into the lobby, and it looks like they might just be searching for more as Blessing starts to charge the grenade towards the players from Team Invictus. They're the last 2, I believe. That is Pintua and Neo just hanging by that tree there, just hugging each other for their life as the grenade continues to cook right through. But I do believe they have a shack just to keep them safe, and beautiful positioning and the use of the smokes to shield all of these ops from their position, because they look like they are very, very open right now.
Absolutely, absolutely what it is. Speaking about being open, you can see the boys from CLS just moving away from that position, looking to get themselves a bit more cover within the zone. Apex having lost 2 of their players, not quite farming as much as we saw them in the previous game. They've gotten into several different fights, but the other teams are just holding it on and keeping them at bay. Habitual having got 6 kills in this game so far. Priest are still being that team with a full squad who have been absolutely outstanding with elimination so far.
Yeah, and I talked about it earlier. Their rotational pattern was something to watch out for. They had that north position toward their Alhumada. They were playing from that north, so they did have a very, very fantastic way to get inside of the play zone. But then unfortunately for the guys from Genesis, Itachi is going to be spotted by the guys from Tryout Squad. They are playing from right behind them, and it might just be the opportunity that the guys from Tryout Squad need. The shot's already starting to ring outside. Player 5 charges the grenade. He's trying to get inside. Beautiful grenade from him, but I don't think it's going to connect. He's still far outside. Habitual Gaming finally getting a taste of the guys from Goth Esports. They know that they're in that position, and I think the play zone is squeezing them time and time again, but Cyclone manages to keep it 100 for the rest of his team. The revive from Shad might just be coming right through there, and Death Fury is going to be revived. Beautiful play from Shad, and fantastic teamwork coming in from the guys from Habitual Gaming.
Yeah, Habitual Gaming fighting on for their life and trying as much as possible to keep their full squad intact, because they do know that that is obviously going to be the determining factor as they move into that final circle to take on the teams around them. TOS, one of those teams who we've been speaking about right here, coming up against Habitual, and Shard is able to put the knife through the throat of the final player in that team and send them back into the lobby right there, I do believe, in 9th position. And now they can continue to build up what is 8 kills so far and try to grab home that winner chicken dinner.
Ooh, the violence continues to exude from the guys from Habitual Gaming. 8 eliminations to them, and for me, they have been the best team today. They have been so consistent across all the games. So I'm so proud, so happy that they've kept this consistency. You can see the guys from Goth Esports getting peppered. I believe that from the guys from Rage Esport as well. Top G putting the fire towards the guys from Goth Esports. They need to be careful. That position is not the best, but Rage have been shifted away. The zone has moved away from that position, and now they have to find a way to keep it, to keep themselves very, very strong and keep themselves in the contention for that chicken dinner. Cyclone Shield just decide to pull up to the same beautiful grenade one after the other, and now the guys from Cyclone Shield doing a fantastic job of pushing into that position owned by the guys from Goth Esports, and now they are trying to squeeze them in one after the other. The group is trying to run outside from top C. He tries the right hand side, but his teammate is going to be dropped, but now he is going to come right through and come in clutch for his guys as they keep the guys from as they keep those guys out of NGE back into the lobby.
Oh, right there with some support from the boys from Apex in that particular one to win that fight. You could just see the shots coming in from Starlight and Blessing, just reducing the HP right there. But looking at this game so far, we got the boys from Habitual who have now been reduced to a 3-man squad, currently sitting down with 10 kills. But let's not forget the boys from CLS are still one team to be definitely feared in this game, holding on for their life. But Habitual, as we didn't speak about, now getting eliminated. So it's down to other teams such as Disparaged and Cyclone Shields to see this game through.
Ooh, Disparaged do pull up to the scene there. Blessing is going to be spotted and sent back into the lobby with the quickness right there. Disparaged doing the absolute mandatory work, but that's a beautiful play from Starlight, but he is going to try his best, but he is going to be dropped by Disarray. Disparaged once again. It looks like they might just claim another chicken dinner. The revive's already coming through, but Cyclone Shield have their hands full trying to deal with the last player for the guys from Goth Esports. Unlock already on Hope there. There's a beautiful spray from Hope. He drops Stoner immediately there, and he tries to drop Danny Brown, but Manny is there to play from the south side, sending the guys from Goth Esports back into the lobby in 4th place. And here comes the guys from Disparaged. They are getting their health back up. Climax is trying to get inside of the play zone. Gilly Suit might just do the trick, trying to hide from the ops right there. Disarray is still back up there. 6 eliminations to the guys from Disparaged. Infinity is also in the mix. Somehow, some way, they found their way to keep it kosher, to keep it 100. But then Woto is going to be spotted by Roach. Roach with a beautiful spray stands him down again. Might just get the confirmation. Cyclone Shield are trying to run away with it. 7 eliminations, 4 players up. It looks like this might just be their game fire.
Yeah, absolutely coming into that final circle and getting a whole bunch of kills to their name. So far throughout the beginning of the game, they kept it quite cool, and now you can see that Danny Brown and his boys are absolutely going onslaught onto several different teams around them. Woto has been gotten back up. Kantai and his boys put in some damage onto the boys from CLS. You can see them making that push onto their location, looking to see if they can take them down. But you cannot forget the boys from Disparaged who continue to put in the shots right there onto the boys from CLS. How is this going to pan out for them? Are Disparaged going to be able to make this work? As you can see, a knock going down onto Roach. Obviously, not making things quite easy for the boys right there from CLS, but Danny Brown is having none of that as he continues to send on the shots onto Tayo and Woto to keep them away from getting that confirmation.
Ooh, Disparaged is in the building right there, but Team Infinity are not letting this one slide. Bullets already being sent back and forth between the guys from Infinity and Cyclone Shield down to one player, I believe. Another of their player goes down. I believe that is going to be Roach. He's going to be sent back into the lobby. Manny is going to be spotted from behind, but again, the 1v1 doesn't work out. Dishonest puts him back into the lobby. Tayo pops a couple of shots towards that direction. Oh, that's a beautiful spray from Woto there. Drops Array down to his knees, and now the rest of the players from Infinity are climbing up the hill. They want to take the guys from Disparaged out of the lobby. They want to take the chicken dinner. It's looking very strong for them, but unfortunately, Skynova is still knocked down. It is a 2 versus 2. Woto charging up there. He's trying to get an angle on the guys from Disparaged. Tayo charges the grenade. He's trying, but he doesn't have an exact clue on the rest of the guys from Disparaged, and the revive is going to come right through there. And now none of these teams' fire is inside of the next zone. The next team that is going to find their way inside of the play zone might just take this game.
Disparaged hanging on for their life in that one. Honest, able to get that revive onto his teammate Array, and it's all down to very slim margins right now. Who does get an angle into that zone? Because I do believe it's really, really important. The next knock is definitely going to define things on who grabs those extra points right there for that chicken dinner. I do believe that is extra 4 points and some of those kill points. So they're vying in right now for who gets those extra 6 points in this particular final circle. You can see Woto strafing around, looking for either Array or Dishonest and an angle to see if he can get those now. Who is going to be the first one to take the next player out?
Ooh, you can see Dishonest there. He might just decide to hop into that buggy and drive around Woto there just to get, inside of that play zone. But beautiful play coming from the guys from Infinity. I think Tayo is having a little bit of play zone to work with, but that airdrop that just landed, it might just be the key right now if the guys from Disparaged can make their way to it, or if they are going to take a 2 versus 1 push against Woto here, because that would be the wiser choice to improve their numbers. They are split apart, but they need to be careful. And now that is the beautiful play coming in from Disarray there. He is going to be spotted. Beautiful spray sent towards Woto, but no, it's not going to work. Dishonest is going to be dropped down, but the DBS coming through from Disarray there. He is going to eliminate the one of the players from Infinity, and that is Tayo. He sends Tayo back down on the ground, and Woto is down to 1 HP. This is the opportunity for Disarray, but Disarray is going to go. Now it is going to be the 1v1 actually. Disarray versus Woto, but Woto does not have meds. Woto no get meds, so you don't get meds. Fire, you know fair, you don't get meds. He's finished, that is for sure. There is no way he does it. It will be absolutely insane if he manages to do a grenade. Don't they cook self? Anna, what you say? That's a beautiful play from the guys from Disparaged. 2 chicken dinners in a day, Fire. 2 chicken dinners.
Oh my goodness, with all the amazing teams around you, if a team like Disparaged is able to grab that winner with a chicken dinner over and over again, then you can believe to trust the process and continue to grow yourself. Definitely going to boost the performance and obviously them up on that leaderboard as they do grab themselves the maximum placement points in this game, as they will be boosting up on that leaderboard. We'll be curious to see what that means on the overall leaderboard for today's games, but my goodness, what a performance coming in from Disparaged as they do find themselves champions again in Miramar.
Fantastic play coming in from the guys from Disparaged, and they did exactly what I said was going to be the best course of action. Hop into the buggy, drive around, and they used your utilities. Fantastic use of your utilities. I know that Mamba was screaming in the background there, doing IGL work from the grave or something, working for the guys from Disparaged. That's a beautiful play. You can see they have improved so much over the past couple of months. It is so impressive to watch Disparaged taking 2 chicken dinners out of 4. I never thought I'd see the day, but that was absolutely beautiful to watch. The way they handled their position, 2 splits out there, 1 person to the north, 1 person to the south. But Manny is going to be our MVP because the guys from Cyclone Shield did the work, they did the numbers, and that was absolutely fantastic. Their engagements, Fire. What did you think of their engagements? Because for a fact they didn't, they weren't into any of the top 2 teams. I do believe they were taken out in 3rd place.
Yeah, definitely. Going out in third place right there. They did get themselves a bunch of eliminations, totally getting 9 eliminations, but Manny the man getting 5 of those to himself. Doing quite well also. But we cannot leave out the boys from Habitual, who got 10 eliminations in this particular game, being one of the outstanding teams. We did think that at some point we were going to see them go on and seal the game through, but they did get taken out in 6th position right there. Regardless of that fact, they got themselves enough eliminations to see them climb up on that leaderboard. What a lovely game coming on for all of this, guys.
You know, and yes, this is one of those balanced games. You know, a whole lot of points going across the board. You know, unfortunately, I feel so bad for the guys from Goth Esports. You know, they did deal some consequential damage, but they couldn't get any eliminations. They couldn't get any points. Nothing to show for it. You know, Genesis Dream Team also having a hard time there as well. You know, and the guys from Royal Academy, this is the first game of the night where they did not, you know, perform very, very well. You know, Team Apex still in charge, still taking the lead, but you know, Disparaged is bumped up all the way to 2nd place. You know, what a big jump, and that is what the chicken dinner does.
Yeah, absolutely. That game in Vikendi obviously gave Team Apex a whole bunch of points to push them up into that #1 at the end of the day in this game so far. But you cannot leave things out for a team like Disparaged. I'll be curious to see what that means on the overall leaderboard when we do check that out much later, probably on the socials. But so far, it has been a really good day for a team like Disparaged and Team Apex to grab more than 50 points.
Yes, you know, big numbers, but let's not forget about the guys from Habitual Gaming and Cyclone Shield. They have been absolutely fantastic. Even Royal Academy, some fantastic plays coming in from these teams. So I am so happy. I am so impressed, you know, coming in from the guys from Disparaged, you know, and Fowl Play as well. But my team of the day has to be Habitual Gaming. They were absolutely fantastic across the board. Every single game they turned up. They didn't get any chicken dinners, but they were absolutely fantastic in every single game, and they did exactly what they needed to do. This could tell you they had a plan and they executed it perfectly. Though I am looking forward to seeing, you know, more action tomorrow. You know, it is the West African Pro League brought to you by 3 Crown Esports. It is your boy Priest, and I am here with Fire, and I'm going to catch you guys, or we are going to catch you guys same time tomorrow, you know, here. So let's get ready for more action tomorrow. Peace.